Hey, good Sunday evening, everyone. What is happening? Caesar, you can unmute yourself. It doesn't matter. You know what? It never matters how many times I tell people. Everybody always seems to forget, which is okay because I've done it so many times myself. I feel like, okay, at least it's not me all the time, you know? It's all right, man. How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I was imagining the reason you showed up so last minute was because you must have been going nuts focusing on the bidding. Is that basically what was going on?
No, I didn't bid on anything.
No?
No, I didn't even look at it. I looked at this morning for Friday's results, but that was it.
Really?
Yeah.
Is there any particular reason?
There was only like 2 pieces maybe I really wanted.
Really interesting. Okay.
And no, it was all right.
Are those the ones that you wanted, that you would have wanted? Is it the kind that you just didn't want to have to pay that kind of money for? Or they're too
right.
pricey?
Yeah. It was just
you like
one of them finished on Friday, and I looked at it and I said, "Oh, I wasn't going to pay that, so it didn't matter." And the other one that finished today was already at a point where that was my max, and now it's going to bid on it. So.
Okay.
That was it.
Yeah, man. Listen, you gotta stick to your guns, right? Like, so that's okay. That's okay. It's never. I always say there's never anything wrong with going through auctions without having spent any money. You know, saving money is good too, right?
Yeah,
so,
yeah, good.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, let's jump into the room, shall we? And let me check out who's here tonight before I get too behind on everybody's comments. Wanted to say hello. I don't know if you're here, Hyder. Good evening to you. I know you were here hours ago, busy getting bombed out on the auction. Said getting my lights in early. The auction is brutal. I guess that means he was just getting outbid on everything he was going after. So that's it. Good evening to you, Mr. Redjack. What's going on, Brian? Good to see you. And of course, as always, Tom. Good evening to you. Rickster, what's going on? You? Look at that. Rickster says, all hail Caesar. And look what I wrote a minute later, because I wasn't sure you were going to be here.
What did you write?
I said, the only thing is Caesar might be trying to hail a cab right about now.
No.
What else we got? CJ, what's going on? Good to see you. And Jason, what's going on? Hello. I hope you had a good weekend. And I hope all of you had a good auction if you did attempt to try to get stuff at the auction. Weekend was auction was very, very Wow, interesting. You know, I was going to say to you guys, I wanted to, you know, say hello to everybody. And then my next thing was going to be like, all right, why don't you guys start telling us
what they won?
Yeah, like how was the auction? Like, how many wins? You know, what did you win? Are you willing to admit things that you won? But I'm starting to get a feeling like a lot of people may not have won anything this weekend, you know?
Hey, just like me.
Like I said, if you're saving money,
I was on the bench. It's all right.
Welcome to the 9th hour of today's HA session. Man, is it really? Is it? Nah. Because doesn't it start at 1 Eastern? I think it's 10
right?
o'clock. Is that 10 o'clock in the
10?
Yeah, 10 for you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So 1 Eastern. Yeah, so it's been 7 hours. Yeah. But when I last checked, it was on letter S at the end of towards the end of the S's. And that was at like 7:20-ish or so. I can't imagine it'll go much longer. Maybe it'll close in the next hour. During this hour.
3 hours.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Still that much, you think? Is that what happens usually on Sundays? It still goes late into the night?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not fun, man. That's a lot of people are complaining about that. I don't know. You know? But tell me, Caesar.
There was 800 pieces in there. That's a lot.
Yeah, but there's always 800 some odd pieces. So it's not like it's something new, you know?
That's a lot.
But you know what though, man? I was very strong prices on many pieces for sure. That's what I heard. Yeah. But like I was wondering, I was thinking about this yesterday, because I know that Sundays it always goes late. Struck out Covey, yes, already here. Happy Sunday to you, honey. Yeah, like okay, so it starts on the West Coast, 10 o'clock. I'm curious if they, in order to sort of not get it ending so late, if they just changed it all of a sudden and said, okay, from now on we're starting them on Sundays. They'll be starting at 8 a.m. West Coast time. As long as you had stuff that you wanted to bid on, would you still set your alarm and wake up, Caesar, and bid on that stuff? Like,
yeah, 8 o'clock's not a problem.
Oh yeah, you see, that's what I was thinking. Like, I don't like it because I'm not a morning person, but I believe even people that are not morning persons, like if you're an active collector, I do believe that if they did that, like most people would still do it. Like most people would wake up. Yeah. Yeah, because ultimately it's like if you want it, you want it. You got to do what you got to do to get it, right? Dwayne's a pain. Good to see you, man. And so that's So I don't know. I was kind of thinking maybe they should do that, but I don't think they ever would. They probably think, better finishing late for the East Coast people than starting so early in the morning for West Coast. That's what I think they think. What's up? Derek, good to see you, Derek. Who else is here? Gabe Carino, what's going on, guys? One ends, another begins. Circle of auction life, sure is. What's up, Jeff Wedding? B&G, what's going on? What's with the cow? Is that a cow? What is that? Is that a cow? The fox or a dog of some kind? Yeah, I don't know. It's so tiny. I don't know what that is. But good to see you, Steve. Hey, Carlito, what's going on? Wow, you're here early. No break. Now, I listen, all props to my man Caesar here. And you guys could give him a big hand because, he was the one last week, who put the comment in. He said, whatever, maybe do one of those, heritage things, whatever. And, it reminded me that, I'd only done, I think, 2 or 3 of these kind of things before. And but one, we hadn't done one in a while, so I was like, yeah, okay, that's not bad because I don't have to make slides for this. It still takes some amount of work to collect the pieces. I got to look through. He's got to look through. I've got to look through. All the stuff to make our choices. But at least once I've collected the scans, I'm not spending hours and hours turning them to slides and stuff. So it's all good. And so and so when I thought about that, I was like, yeah, you know what? Why not? I'll do one of those. And since Caesar suggested it, I reached out to him and I said, hey, Caesar, you want to do it with me? And he was down for it. And here we are. So I appreciate that, Caesar. Thank you.
All right, you should have sent that email a day before.
Why?
Because that day you sent it, I had already unfollowed most of the auctions because they were too high.
Oh, yeah?
And so I had to go back and go, oh, and I got to pick them all over again.
You had to go pick them all over again. Wow. Sorry, man. What can I say? Cab, how are you, Cab? Or was he hailing the cab? He was not, in fact, hailing the cab. No. So it's all good. Hey, Cab. Of course, we know you're joking. We know. Good to see you. Yes, Gabe. Everybody else. Hello, CJ. What's going on? Watched. Had fun all weekend. Day 1 was fun. Kenneth Bird, good to see you, sir. 1-0. Wow, another nothing. Another shutout. Then again, I bid on nothing, so it seems. Yeah, I would say that's fair. Hi, everyone. Am I blurry again? You are very blurry. I can't see you at all right now, Sean. Where's Rudin? I don't see Rudin.
Who's Rudin?
Where is that guy? I don't know where he is tonight. Good to see you, Sean. 1-0, but still had a good OA day at. Oh yeah, right. You went to the New Jersey Art Con. Okay. Oh, so that's good. At least it was something for you. You know, something to do for you, Kavi. Rudin has never left. A bunch of Garfield on which one? On Heritage. I'm sure there's tons of Garfield. All you can take. You thought it started at noon. No, I'm pretty sure. I think it's noon because I think Central Time it's noon. You know, because I Heritage in Dallas, they're Central, and that's 1 hour behind Eastern, I believe. Right? So for them would be noon, you know. And what's a sin? What's a sin? I missed that because I'm behind. No, Church did not go. No. Longer than a Rubin interview of the Harrison Ford acting style across the entire film library. What's up, Dan? What's you know me. What recession? Well, yeah, that's what I kind of wanted to talk to you guys about a little bit. Hi, Stanley. Hi, Daniel. Does the Friday auction happening in the middle of the business day have a negative impact on prices? I mean, I didn't notice anything myself. I have like 350 things, lots tracked. So I haven't had time to like look through everything carefully and examine everything. So I haven't noticed whether things went high, low, whatever, you know. So I don't know. But just to answer your question, generally speaking, Jason, has it ever really had an impact? I mean, if you think about it this way, Heritage auctions have always kind of been like on a, you know, starting on a weekday afternoon, right? And it never seems to impact, right, Caesar? Like it's just right. And
I remember there were auctions on Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday. You know.
Yeah. And that
doesn't seem to change anything.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to change anything. And that's another thing. What's the deal with that? Why did they, like, several months back in 2024, why did they go to this model of, oh, we'll still do like Thursday starting Thursday for a few days, but we'll always skip the Saturday. Like they used to do Saturday, right?
That's weird. They used to do Saturday, yeah.
Yeah. And now they skip Saturdays. It's like, ugh. It's awful. I hate that. I don't understand what's behind
Maybe they weren't getting enough participation on Saturday.
Could be. I won't deny that it could be, but man, it's like we were saying earlier. If you have to wake up at 8 in the morning, you'll do it if you're an active.
Yeah, but maybe they saw a significant number of people not there on Saturday.
I find that hard to believe personally. Again, I'm willing to concede. You could be right. You could be. I don't have data on that. I find it hard to believe, though. I just still believe people would do it. But yeah, I don't know. Mike Snitzer, been a minute. You got a Silvestri spawn piece for cheap. Okay, 27.68. Thanks for being honest and admitting, giving us data. Most of these guys typically say, "Oh yeah, I won a piece." They don't tell us what they want, let alone how much they want it for. Like, why would you even mention it if you're going to do that? You know, the same piece was listed for $10K on Silvestri's site. Nice, great stuff, man. Good. That's a good way to do it. 20. You get it for a quarter of what he was asking. That's awesome, Mike. Congrats. And what else we got? Yeah, exactly. Congrats. What's up, Corey? Good to see you. I got 2 nice pieces on Wednesday night from Mike, and then the ROM 32 page was super cheap. It's actually still listed on Glenn's site for 32. Good for you. Congratulations. Today was noon Eastern? Oh, really? Interesting. Wow, I did not know that. Okay. That's wild. So, okay, so it's been going on for 8.25 hours at this point. Yeah. Thank you, Cab. Yeah, you're confirming. Yeah, exactly. That's wild. So, okay. What else? Look like a nice art-filled con. Yeah, not bad for a Sunday in Jersey. Saturdays are for lovers. Apparently so. Apparently that's the real reasoning behind it, Marcus, you know. Saturday cartoons take priority. Yeah, but aren't Saturday cartoons already over by like 10 a.m., Rick? You know, like that's like when
do they even have Saturday cartoons anymore?
Yeah, that's exactly. I remember 7-8 years ago when Arwen was a little girl. I remember, still watching, she'd be watching cartoons. And I'd come in at around like 10 o'clock on a Saturday, and it'd be like, oh, it's like live action. It's some kind of kids live action show. Like, no cartoons? Nope, no cartoons. Cartoons are over. Like, and I even looked on the programming, with the remote, and like, yeah, it was like there was no cartoons to be found by 10 a.m. It was so weird, man. So you could be right, Caesar. They at this point there may be no more animated stuff at all. The way things are going, pretty weird. Saturdays have conventions, they do, but then again, so do Sundays and Fridays. Come on, guys, that's. There's no way I'm going to believe that that's the reasoning. Do you buy or sell with Heritage? Ruben says Stanley. I do, but for me, they're kind of like the last resort. So in other words, I prefer to try to get sales by fixed price method on my website, or here doing it as a fun show on YouTube, because it's fun that way. I'd rather exhaust those possibilities first, and then if I don't make sales on stuff I kind of need to move, if I feel like I need or want to raise more money than I actually did, then I might be like, okay, I guess I'll send some things off to Heritage. But sometimes I don't. Depends on whether I need the money or not. Because remember, when you decide to send to auction, it's like, oh, you make the decision today. So you talk to your rep at Heritage today, or Comic Link, or whoever you deal with. And then, okay, you do a deal with them. You send it in a couple of days later. But really, that's going to be for no earlier than 6 weeks down the road at the earliest. And then you got to wait another 6 weeks for them to send you the check payment. So you're not getting money, even if you send it into auction, until 3-4 months later, kind of thing, right? So there's all these little things you need to kind of take into consideration when obviously going to auction. So, but yeah, sure, I use them. I use them from time to time. That's my answer, Alex Garcia, what's going on, bud? Hey, everyone was tracking 35 plus. Shit, only a tenth of what I was tracking. Won a page on day 2, and I was done after that. Well, congrats for winning that page and not telling us what it is. But yeah, you've got good taste, though, Alex. I mean, I see all the stuff that you post. So yeah, I'm sure it's a pretty cool piece. Saturday cartoons are gone. Are they? Are you saying that for serious? Like, there's got to be some cartoons. I'm sure they're not completely gone. Wizards of Waverly Place. I never watched that. That was after my time, but I know what you're talking about. Kids, teens watch anime now. They do. Nothing wrong with that. That's pretty good. But that you got to do that on demand, don't they? Because there's not like anime on Saturday morning or whatever, right? You got to kind of do it on those streaming channels, I suppose. You're checking out again, Comic Art Boston. Wow. Thank you. I appreciate it. And I look forward to you catching it on Rewind. Yeah, have yourself a good rest of the night. Night Cab, later Cab. Okay, what else? Night Cab. Everybody saying bye-bye to Cab. Alonso Collectibles is back in the house. What's going on? What up, playa? Good to see you. There's 2 pieces I like on HA for Wednesday and 2 on CL, so it never ends. It never does end. That is true. When you're active, it never does end. There's just constant auctions. That's the thing, Luke McDonald's Star Wars page was tempting. He didn't get nothing, though, Tom. You can watch cartoons any time of day online. Well, that's, I guess, kind of true. But it's sad for little kids. I mean, they're kind of like growing up, not apparently knowing what it's like to, come home from school after 5 days and then know that they can stay up a little later on Friday night and then wake up early to start watching hours and hours of cartoons on Saturday morning, So they're never really gonna know that if they're gone, if they really are indeed gone forever, Invincible pieces, dude. That stuff has gone so high, and you know me, man. I've said it several times on these shows. The best continuous run of any comic book I've ever read in my life. It's not my favorite, so there's a difference. It's not my favorite comics of all time. Just the most consistent, high quality of story and art for a long, continuous period of time, more than anything else I've ever read. So yeah, fantastic. I got she's never read it, but she doesn't really read comics much. But she's started watching the TV show now, and she really loves that. So At least it's something comic related. I wish I had means to have a play on it. Okay. And Cartoon Network killed Saturday programming along with Disney Channel. Is that right? Okay. Well, sorry to hear. But, all right. Well, look, you guys told us, a few of you told us, whether you won. Most of you seem to have gotten shut out. Video did indeed kill the radio star. About, 1981, I think that was, Rick. Got to get together soon to look at some of my Marvel masterpieces. So, yeah, dude. Okay, so here again. Didn't I tell you last time? Where is it? Here. Email me there. Email me, and so I don't forget. Email me there, and I will tell you what Sunday's slots I have available. All right, and yeah, that's it. Okay. So everybody, just before we get into it, I just wanted to say, shockingly enough, Carl's not here, but Carl also did not put out, forget 2 videos every week that he usually does. He didn't even put out 1 video, and he's not here. I tend to overreact, of course. I admit that, but it tends to worry me sometimes. I hope he's okay. I hope you're doing okay, Carl, and I hope you just had a really, really busy week and not a bad one. I hope that's the reason for not being here and not doing any videos this week. So nothing to promote there, except for, of course, Nikki B. Here's the link for Nikki B, youtube.com/theexp, everybody. Please check that out. Unfortunately, here we go, Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific. I unfortunately do not have a link because I checked even today. They did not schedule the show as of yet. So there you go. But please do check that out if you can. Okay. And yeah, other than Nick, that's it. That's it for that. I'll just give a quick shout out here to my newest subscribers, Erwin Papa, and there was 2 or 3 anonymous this week as well. So yeah, loving how that's going, everybody. Please do not subscribe to my channel unless you watch every now and then. Yeah, don't try to do me a favor and click it. And then if you have no intention on coming back, yeah, I'd rather you not click it. So I want my subscribers to generally just be viewers, So yeah, so that's it. Thank you, Erwin Papa, and you anonymous guys. I appreciate it. And let me set up here what we're gonna do here, because so tonight, everybody, for those of you who may be watching, especially maybe on Rewind, if you're watching this on Rewind, and if you've never seen our auction attractions episodes before, basically me and whichever guest, in this case Caesar, we each pick a certain number of pieces from recent auctions, and it could be just stuff we like seeing, is stuff we would want to own if money was no object. Yeah, pieces that just attract our attention for whatever reason. Yeah, we look through them and yeah, just talk about them. We talk about them with the live chatters. That's why we always suggest it's a lot more fun to be here live if you can ever make it live, because we make it very interactive, and anybody watching live and commenting in the live chat, they're part of the show as well. Everybody gets to have their say here, So yeah, so that's what it is, and yeah, we're gonna be looking at. So the idea tonight was we were gonna do 30 pieces. Unlike a normal collector show and tell, you guys know it's typically 20. But I have found that when we do these special types of show and tells where it's not a collector's collection, we tend to go faster because. And I assume, educated guess, there's not quite as much to say when you don't own the art. I think when you own it, you're more passionate about it, and yeah, you can really get more into it, and so you probably spend more time talking about every single piece. Yeah, and so for that reason, I decided we'd do like 15 pieces each that Ceasar and I each pick. In the end, Ceasar, I don't know if you did it on purpose or if it was a mistake, but you did actually pick.
Yeah,
16.
I did one more.
Yeah, okay,
I did
cool.
one extra. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Because I ended up, I wasn't counting, and I was just picking, adding, and then I finally said, oh, let me see how many I got, and I realized, oh, I'm at 17, and I was like, oh, let me see if Ceasar at 50, and I said, oh, he also went over by one. I'm like, why waste more time looking, deciding which one to get rid of? We'll just show an extra one. Who cares? What the hell,
That's fine.
Yeah. So I think it's better that people love to see the art. So what the heck, might as well. And so before we get into the art, everybody, let me see. Hold on. Well, Tom. I mean, that's what we're saying. Try to get together for a show. I mean, that's what I'm assuming he's talking about, right? Let's get into it. Yeah. Ceasar, the rule breaker. Sweet 16. I mean, I don't think so, other than when you popped in here into the chat on live episodes before, But yeah, if you want to do a show, reach out to me at that email, man. Can we do an unboxing from Ceasar? Yeah. Because, that's a new idea. We've never thought of before. And yeah. But, Dan admits, you sold 3 lots. Oh, and only did okay. Doesn't that suck when that happens? Because you're looking at all these other lots that you're following, and they're all going seemingly high. But when you sell yours feel like they're the only ones that are disappointingly low, But, yeah. Okay. I did one. Ceasar should do one. What do you mean?
What is mine?
You mean? I think he's talking about because you mean because I did the unboxing, the pre-recorded unboxing 2 days ago. That you're talking about that for this, for the artist edition of the Batman First Night thing. Is that what you're talking about? Oh yeah. You did an unboxing Friday. Yeah, and for those of you who didn't watch, because not for whatever reason, not many people watch my pre-recorded content. Just like Mike Perkins' Batman First Night. This is a Panini Germany edition, so this won't be available in the United States. It will be Americans can buy it, Canadians can buy it, but you'd have to when it's available. Don't know when. It should be soon. When it becomes available, you have to go to Panini Germany website and order it there.
Man. Some import fees on there, man.
I know. But for those of you who are into this sort of thing, Mike will have 74 now, I guess, because he gave me this one. He's doing a limited edition of 75, where he does an original illustration, and he kind of glues it into the book. This is like glued, or maybe it's a sticker stuck in onto the front page, and then he signs and numbers it. So I've got 19 of 75. And for those of you who just want to get a quick look, get an idea of what the book looks like, it's hard. It's hard to obviously.
Hey, they came out with that fast, no?
I mean, the 3 issues came out here in North America back in May, June, July. So, and does that mean this is fast? I mean, it's 9 months later, right?
I guess.
Yeah. But the parent company in America, they wouldn't do this stuff, and that's why you can't get it in the United States, because they tried. Scott Dunbier at his new publishing company, he wanted to do this. It was his idea in the first place. But when it comes to brand new, contemporary works, DC tends to always think that, well, we can do it ourselves. So, they tend to say no for the newer stuff. but then they never end up kind of doing it, you know. But yeah, Panini Germany has the license to do basically what they want for DC, and they can put together any kind of collection they want. And Europeans put together really great collections. So yeah, there you go. So yeah, get that if you can. And like I said, if you want one of these editions with the tipped-in illustration on the front, I would say just follow Mike Perkins on social media. Either Facebook is the better one, or Instagram. He's on there on both of those, and he'll post a message whenever he's ready to start selling these 75 whatever copies of the limited edition with the tipped-in art. You know. And would you be no exactly, Marcus? Would not be able to remove the art from the book. That kind of, I would prefer that you could remove it. I wish it was just tipped. I thought that's what tipped in means. That you know you draw it on a separate piece of paper and you slide it in, I guess. But whatever, I don't know. I was surprised to see that it was like stuck inside, and you can't remove it. It's you just kind of, like I said, I believe it's just like a sticker. It feels like it's just a sticker that he drew on and then stuck in there. So so there you go. Hey, what's up, Dino? Hopefully no 25% tariff on price. Well, that's the thing. You guys, everybody, we all do, no matter where you live, what country you're from, you all got to do your homework now. We all got to do our homework. And like when you want to buy something from outside the country, kind of try to look it up, even though that's very difficult because the American administration doesn't really have answers to these questions about, what's going to get, is this product going to get charged? There's no easy place where you could go and say, here's the complete list of products, or where you could search for, a product, and say, hey, let me search for comic books, or let's say, let's see if it shows up on the list of tariff products. There is nothing like that. They should have that, but there is not. So it's a pain in the ass, and we're all dealing with it. So what can I say? Europeans do know their art, Dan. Yeah, for sure. Take a razor blade to it. Well, that's the thing, right? The only thing you could really do would be, I wouldn't try to cut the illustration out, but if you really wanted it separated, I would, you slice out the page, the whole page, because this, like I said, is very thin. It's a sticker. So even if you manage to peel it off, it would probably, like a sticker, curl all up, on you. So I will be buying Panini trades from now on. No tariffs to my country. What's up, Mark? And you can have a pro cut the page out. Right. There you go. Yeah. If you really need to do that and you're okay with doing that to your book. Exactly. Can always move to Russia. There are no new tariffs there. Or those 2 islands. I heard that there were 2 islands with only penguins on them that they apparently put tariffs on as well. And so you can move there, and you could be the first and only person to move and live there. Do you handle Mike's commission list? I do not. He doesn't really have one because he's always too busy. So the only time he does commissions is when he's going to make a personal appearance somewhere, whether it's at a store or at a convention, Stanley. Then he typically announces it like on Facebook, and he takes a certain amount of pre-made commissions that he will do at home and deliver to you at the convention. So that's the only thing. He hasn't taken an actual proper convention, a proper commission list, at home and then mail it to you by mail in years. So yeah. We're up at Stain. What's up, Sean? I bought $200 book order from USA last week, and they charged me $130 to cross.
Dude, that's a lot.
Okay, that's insane. First of all, Sean, you got to tell us the breakdown, because this really would help us. Like, do you have that sticker of the custom sphere, whatever? Because the breakdown should be there. I would love to know how much was shipping, how much was sales tax, because I know you got 13% sales tax, and then how much was the tariff. Because on $200 book, that sounds way too expensive. Because that means for you to get charged, that means you were subject to the tariff, the counter tariffs that Canada imposed on American goods, right? And as far as I know, Canada didn't impose tariffs to the tune of 60 whatever percent that you're looking at there, man. Like that's, yeah, I don't know what happened there, but yeah, we need to know the breakdown. So you got it shipped by a courier probably then, right? Because if it's post office, there's never a broker fee. That's the great thing about post office. But if you're using a courier, FedEx, UPS, then you got brokerage fees, and they can be insane. But yeah, okay, so $40 for the tax, $90 for just for them to broker it. Like that was the mistake, actually, my friend. That was the mistake. Ugh, that's rough. Smuggler's Blues, yeah, hide it up and Telluride, Colorado. But anyways, okay, let's get into this, shall we? Let's get into this. I'm sure this whole tariff thing, as it keeps kind of, it's still brand new. So as it rolls out, I'm sure with each passing week, we'll probably have more stories of people buying things from cross-border who got stung. And yeah, we'll be hearing it and telling our stories, sharing our stories here about that stuff, So, but for tonight, I guess that's it. And yeah, let's get ready. I'm gonna set up here the photo viewer so that we can start checking out all the art. Oh, and by the way, Caesar and everybody else, all of you, I did choose my official 17, and Caesar has his 16. But there's an extra one that we're going to start with. It's not because I wanted to show it. I just wanted to make a point and ask a question to all of you about it. I'm curious what everybody else thinks. Okay, so that's the one we're going to start with. So yeah, so let me see. So let me share this. Where are we? Yeah, here we go. All right, Caesar, let me know in the next couple of seconds. It should be showing. Let me know if it's showing.
It's showing.
It is showing. Okay.
Yes.
In that case, let me come back here. Oh, okay, good. Excellent. All right. So, hey, Jesus Cabrera, what is up? Good to see you. All right. So the reason I wanted to show this, everybody, I'm just curious because, so this piece, let me, you guys know what it is, obviously. I don't have to say it. It's a recreation, right? And this recreation, it's sold for $16,800. All right. And so I just wanted to know from you, and since there's always a 10-second or so delay in the chat before we start seeing your answers, guys. Caesar, let me ask you first. Given that, and listen, I don't have actual factual numbers, but let's be honest, like,
it's recreated a lot.
Yeah, like Trimpe probably did this several dozen times, is what my guess would be over a 20-some-odd year period, right?
And when was this one done? It's undated, probably, right?
Yeah, this is one of the undated ones, And I will say, and not that this justifies the price. I will say this one is cooler than most because this one he imitated to make it look older. All that border stuff you see, right? That's not real. That's not an old board that he drew this on. He actually drew all those marks in on the side.
All the marks?
Yeah. All that, everything you see, okay? Like literally everything you see here. Let me do everything. So on the top, the sides, see, you see here where my the black circles?
Yeah.
Right? It's like typically those are black because you're looking at somebody who's it's a hole, right?
Punch a hole, yeah, punch a hole.
But no, that's just marker. And these here, these are markers. And the word blue, TS, markers, everything here you see on the borders is markered. And it's a photocopy for all of this stuff up here, the stat.
It is a photocopy, huh?
Yeah, and it's actually, and that's the funny thing is that's the worst part about the whole thing is the photocopy is not really great quality. But the border is really cool. Okay, so fine. The border is cool, whatever. It makes it look older, more authentic looking, whatever. But as I say, my thing is the guy did many dozens. I mean, isn't it insane to bid these things up to $17,000?
Absolutely insane.
Yeah. Right?
I mean, same goes for the Buscema Silver Surfer cover.
Right.
Then the auction, the recreation. How many of those has he done?
Yeah, how many of those? Exactly. Tons of those. And that one sold for $20K.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, man, it was like really, really nuts. So I don't know. I don't know. I wanted to know what everybody thought because I just was like, yeah, sure. You could have done dozens and you can say, oh, well, yeah, but you're not getting dozens of them showing up at the same time. Yeah, of course. They're only going to show up like one at a time. But the fact that they're out there and they will hit the market every now and then, because there's so many of them. And given how much money you can make off of them now, everybody who bought them for $1,000 or less,
they're going to put one out.
Yeah, everybody eventually will decide to put them out when they see stuff like this. So, Marcus, I know you're playing devil's advocate. He's not making any more. It's not the point. It doesn't matter. He already made way too many for them to be worth $16,000. That's crazy, dude. Yeah, light box, fantastic light box. Sale all over the place. Yeah, exactly, Tom. So if you send a piece for Thor went high as well. Yeah, exactly. And no, I get that the original would be like 500,000, blah, 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 for the Thor piece, whatever. For this one, you're looking into the seven figures, right? If this X ever shows up on the original, it's definitely millions. I get that, but that's not the point. That's not the point. If there was only one recreation, okay, 50 grand, I would think would make sense, but not when there's dozens of them in existence. It just seems crazy to me. I don't know, man. You got one, but there's no help or when to go on it. What's up, Mike? Wolverine collectors needed. That is true. I'd rather have a color guide recreation with a colored mat. To me, it kind of dilutes the word original. Yeah, exactly. That's the other thing too, because there's so many. Cool for sure, but yeah, way too much for recreation. Yeah, thank you. It's like a limited print of a fine art. Yeah, exactly. But we don't like that stuff. We don't like limited prints of fine art. We are not the market for that. We don't buy that stuff. Most of us, anyways, right? I think you underestimate how little 16K is to many buyers. No, I don't. Come on, Mike. I'm fully aware that there are many, many people that are 100 millionaires, tens of millionaires. I'm fully aware of that. I don't need to be unaware of that to think that this is expensive and overpriced. Like, again, listen, people want to bid it up to those prices. Again, that's, I guess, whatever. It's worth it now. I guess that's what it's worth now at the moment. I would be very scared paying that and owning it for the long term. And yeah, one day, I think it's a crapshoot. I think there's a crapshoot where one day you try to sell it and, oh, the last one went for 16. And then maybe one after that went for 20. And then one day there's going to be one that just goes for 12 or 8 or, man, I don't know. It's just, it's going to take people to kind of catch on, Wolverine's set to be a big star in the movies in the future. Yeah, I'm sure. It is definitely all relative, Mike, for sure. Another Mike, Asbill's in the house. What's going on? More than one bidder, the sky's the limit. Listen, you're not teaching me anything. I know how, supply and demand works. I get it. I'm just, relatively speaking, I'm just saying, yeah, whatever. It just seems crazy when there's so many in existence. But then again, I will say, guys, I also have to admit that the same argument, I've made the same argument about the Hulk 181 comic book, right? Because there's literally thousands and thousands of them available. And they're endless. They're in no short of supply, and you can buy them in any condition you want. And no matter what, they still always sell for big, big money. So yeah, because in that market, though, it's a much bigger market than the art market. There's definitely always been a lot more demand than supply, even with as much supply as there is, But we'll see. We'll see in the future. Only the future will tell for these recreations, I guess, You would pay that much for a Zek recreation? I'm sure you would. This is really the original? Yeah, right. All right. So anyways, thank you, everybody. And thanks for your thoughts. You too, Caesar. Appreciate it. And let's get into the show.
Sure.
Let me see here. I've already got them all queued up in an order, or it'll be one for Caesar, one for me, you know, back and forth. We'll go back and forth. And that's always kind of the fun way to do it. So before I do that, oh, JC speaks. JC, what's going on? Is there a thing to owning the next best thing to the original? I mean, well, that's kind of why people who like recreations get them, because they, you know, it's kind of like the closest thing you can get that feels like the original, right? Size matters, of course. I've seen most of these under 8x12. Well, no, there's a lot of smaller ones like that, but trust me, there's tons of 11x17s. I do believe this is 11x17. There was
Would you pay more if it was bigger?
What?
Would you pay more if it was bigger?
Well, that's the thing. But this might have been one of the larger ones. I don't really remember because or the last one that sold might have been the big one. I remember there was one. I'm pretty sure one that sold, and it was one that he had done back in the 90s, even before the internet. He was supposed to do it for like Sotheby's and Christie's when they were doing comic art auctions.
Oh, okay.
You know, and something happened, and for whatever reason, he just kept it. It didn't go to the auction block, and for many years, he had it above his bed, hanging, you know, framed and hanging in his bedroom, and it was huge. It was a humongous one. I don't know if that was the one that sold last. Again, it's hard to keep track because there's so many of these things, right? And he may ultimately have done more than just that one in the 90s that was on larger paper. Who knows? That's the thing. There's no way to know any of this stuff, like how many of each size, how many altogether, you know what I mean? So, yeah, so that's the thing. So this one is nice. It has a high level of detail. Well, I think most of them do, though. Most of them do. Like I said, the only difference really between this and the others, to me, is that he hand did all that the border stuff to make it look like an older board and make it look more authentic. You know, that adds to the, you know, sort of older authenticity look. You know, but again, it's not enough to make me feel like, oh, I need to buy one at these prices. But whatever, regardless. Okay, so let us get this rolling, folks. And I think the next piece is going to be, I decided to start because I was going to let you go last. So let me check it out, guys. Yes, okay. So it's me. So so this is my first piece, everybody, and I decided to start off with Johnny Comet by Frank Frazetta. And yeah, look, obviously you guys know why I picked this, but before I get to the obvious, check this out, right? Check it out. This is what's kind of interesting to me, that even when it came to the older woman character, right? Even when it came to her, you can tell that Frazetta is still all about the babe factor, the good girl art technique, you know, because listen, she has, you know, a portlier physique, if you will, but you can tell he's still sexualizing the older woman. I mean, she still looks fine for a woman that age, you know? So that's actually, I just find it an interesting observation that even for the older characters that he still did that, you know? Nevertheless, this is obviously, this is stunning, just beautiful. Just the light feathering of the hair, very, very nice. Love the wrist and hand movement on the blonde right here, just beautiful. I mean, Johnny himself, gorgeous. This whole area here, the front of the face, his left arm, I just love that. Everything's just always so natural because he was so good with anatomy. Nice zipatone here, that's pretty fun. And of course, in the garage with the race car, that's always fun. But of course, you're really buying it for this as well, you know. Yeah, so just nice, beautiful, good girl art examples. Very Dave Stevens, decades before Dave Stevens came along, if you will. And yeah, that's it. I'm always a big fan of these. So let me. Sorry, would you say, Caesar?
It's a great strip. Yeah.
great example, right?
Right. I mean, just the way the panel reads, it's far away, close up, close up. It brings it in more. It's a
Yeah,
smooth, natural just progression.
yeah. I mean, yeah, it's beautiful. And there was two of them, but obviously I didn't. I was not gonna like take one of my picks and give up another pick just to show both of them. But the other one also had the same blonde girl. A couple of nice, really, really beautiful images of her as well on that one too. So, but yeah, really, really nice stuff. Now the inks are better on this. I have to ask Mandel. He used to play poker. Okay, I don't know what you were talking about. This one's nice, has a high level of detail. Yeah. And man, these were so nice. Yeah, for sure. Very nice. Amazing work. So clean and well done. Hey, Maki Poo Poo. What's going on, bud? Beautiful piece. I mean, damn, the Zipatone alone, so smooth. A lot of us love that Zipatone. Oh, the other one went for 29. Yeah, in case you're wondering, everybody, this one went for 20,400. Wow. So thanks for that, Kavi. 29 for the other one. Wow. So even these are starting to get way out of hand for everybody who wants them. That's crazy. It is indeed a good one, man. Even the lettering is masterfully done. I agree. Yeah, very, very nice font, if you will. Will the strip market ever collapse? I don't think so. I mean, the quality has gone sort of hand in hand along with the mainstream comic book art market, Stanley, for the most part. The good stuff continues to rise as well. So I would say as long as, whatever, as the comic book art market goes, I think so too will the strip art market continue. So what up? So yeah, so there you go. Very lovely. That's it. Let us move on to the next piece. This next piece is the first selection for you, Caesar. Let's see here. Check it out. And I got something to say about this as well, but it's not going to be good. So obviously, I got to let you talk about it first. Tell us why you selected this one.
So I like the middleman. I like this run of Action Comics where it was Superman and a guest star.
Yeah,
I mean, it was that was a fun read for every book because it was just one. Yeah. It was a one-off story. It's fine, but it had so many guest stars with Superman. Thought it was great, and I love the middleman. Who doesn't like the middleman? You got a nice group shot right there.
Yeah, a lot of people don't care. Okay, so that's fine. That's a good enough reason. The thing about it for me is just simply that, and I didn't look at the credits, but it feels like Byrne only did breakdowns because it looks like the line art is so very, very just Giordano-ish. I mean, if you really focus in panel by panel, I can tell that, sure, I can recognize the way that Byrne does his musculature, right? So I do recognize it, but I can see that it's like buried underneath what looks like very obvious Giordano inks with a pen as well. No brush, it's all pen. Here, same thing. Here it looks, I see shades of Klaus Janson in some of the lines.
Yeah.
Now here I see a little bit more Byrne, obviously the faces here, here. So, and the musculature. But if you look at the lines, if you just focus in on the lines, all the lines here, it's like, again, it's Giordano a la somewhat Klaus Janson-ish, Same here. Look at this. You really can barely tell that this was Byrne underneath this, the Superman face. Here again, I can see that with the hand and the musculature. Again, it is Byrne-ish. Same thing with Superman and his face. But yeah, the line work, just not refined. So the reason I'm questioning you, though, Caesar, is because for all of you who, you guys don't know, but when I asked Caesar to go ahead and choose his 15 pieces, I asked him, hey, what's your criteria for picking? And he said, just basically going to be picking stuff that I like or would like to have if money was no object, and I'm like, okay, cool, no problem. And that's it. So when he showed me his selections, I saw this one, and I'm a big Byrne Superman fan. And I love, like you said too, Caesar, I love the Action Comics run. It's like, Marvel team up, but it's like DC team up with Superman and all these other, DC characters in every issue. And I love self-contained single issue stories. But I was curious to see, I was wondering, it's like, man, does he think that this is a good example of the actual artwork? Because I was like, damn, it's like, yeah, not great if you want a good quality Byrne piece. It's just very Giordano-ish, if you know what I'm saying.
But great if you want a Byrne example right there. Group of superheroes. Large group of superheroes.
And it sold for $33.60, everybody. So this one went for $33.60. So that's actually cheap, because these days, like if this was a really well-inked one, right, where it really looked very Byrne-ish, if you will, this is more kind of like $5,000, $5,500, and that kind of range. Yeah,
I think so. That's a lot.
Oh no! But lately, over the last year or so, they've been hitting those types of prices. Yeah. So I'm going by actual sales here. Yeah. So what else? Let me just quickly see if any of you have some thoughts. Kavi thinks it's a bargain, but again, you're getting not great line art if you're a big Byrne fan. So that's the reason it went for 33 rather than say 53. So I think it's appropriately priced given that. How many boxes does Caesar have to open tonight? No boxes. No boxes. That's all you're going to be known for from now on, Caesar.
Opening boxes.
Opening boxes, exactly. Hey, Nikki B, what's up? What's going on? Good to see you. And let me see. Go have a great dinner, my friend. Go have a great dinner. Breakdown, it's all right. It's all right. It's all right. Okay, you're singing, I guess. And hello from everybody. Yeah, thank you, everybody. Please, if you're watching, please, thank you, Nick, for reminding me. If you could just hit the thumbs up icon right below the video screen, I would really appreciate it if you're watching this and you haven't done so already. That would be very nice. Thank you, Nikki. Mike says, I don't think OA prices go up. Cost of living and everything else will. As such, frivolous spending on hobbies dropped. We'll see. We'll see if it happens or not. Grail pieces will always get top money, but people will pull back. We'll see, Mike. Everybody thought that that's what was going to happen during COVID, and instead, the opposite happened. It exploded. I know this is different, but still, we'll see. We'll see what happens. It's basically at this point on a day-to-day basis. Don't count out the tariff situation disappearing all of a sudden completely. Should the stock market tank another 10% over the next week or two? You know what I mean? So anything can happen at this point. So good luck, Nick. Yeah, still seems reasonable considering the prices of other stuff, but I don't know a ton about Superman market. Yeah, no, like I said, given that the best stuff is going for between 5 and 6, 33 is okay. It's an affordable way to do it. So it's an all right buy for sure. Does OA get charged with tariffs? I mean, nobody knows anything, Maki. Nobody knows anything at this point. If Superman isn't fighting Doomsday, I don't know why you would want it. Wink, wink. Yeah. All right. Cool. So that was that. Let me move on to the next piece, everybody. And for that, we go to this one. So I just was really attracted to this. I don't know. I love the classic Kirby. I don't know. It's so beautiful. And this happens to be Everett, Bill Everett inking. Okay, it's from Thor 171. The first panel really kind of got me excited. I just really loved the solidity feel of the buildings in the background. That was really nice. The inking, especially here, you can't see it well here, but the feathering here on his knee and here on the shadow, coming off the shadow on the inside of his cape, really nice stuff. I kind of really dig the really sharp angular inks on the outlines of the anatomy. Kind of interesting. Some nice, interesting, bold choices that Everett did with the inking. Nice feathering here on his, the wings of his helmet in the second panel. I love how he did the eyes, just different even from Sinnott, And here we go, just more Thor. I mean, it's Thor all over the place with his hammer. And then, of course, you get to the bottom, and he's doing the classic swinging the hammer in a circular motion, but in a close-up. It's very dynamic and powerful. I just really love it for that,
Yeah, it is. It's a great page.
Yeah, even though it's not DC, Caesar.
Even though it's not DC, I can appreciate it. It's a good Kirby Thor. That first and last panel, that sums up Thor right there to me. This hammer waving. No, it's a great page.
Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, Rickster, you love the bottom panel the most, right? Yeah, it's the most dynamic one for sure, Hope you didn't go hard this auction. Let's see, awesome page, for sure. And Bill E does a great job. Yeah, it definitely does. Okay, side convos. Okay, there you go. All right. So yeah, beautiful Kirby page from me. All right. Let me go to Caesar's next pick. And for that, we get...
What'd you go with?
This one.
Oh, see?
Tony Harris.
I like that one because that would fit my collection. That would be one of the two pieces I was going to go after.
Yeah.
House ad. I love house ads.
Oh.
It's a nice Starman.
Yeah, yeah, me too, man. I love
quality. Black and white art. Tony Harris did the covers and he was great, but I like the black and white on this one.
Yeah. I always prefer. I know you can get some nice painted stuff too, but when I have a choice, I prefer black and white. I just like the stark contrast of the black and white. Yeah, and I love all that spritz there with the white paint for the effect.
Splatter effect.
Yeah, all that splatter effect. It's so. Yeah, and I'm like you said, I'm with you, man. Like, I've always just been a big fan. I mean, look, we both grew up in the same time, like with the 80s, like Marvel and DC throughout the 80s. I mean, they just loved making those house ads.
It was every book for months upon months upon months. You would just see like one house ad just run.
Yeah.
Run.
Yeah, and it really, I find that it really made it exciting. Like as a teenager, as a kid, every time I saw a house ad, it just made me want to, maybe I can collect another book. Starting from issue 1, right? The idea of a new series starting, and I can get on board at the ground level, right? Like number 1, and it looks so cool. Yeah. It looks fun, and I can start from the beginning. Awesome. Yeah, it was so much fun, man. I just love this stuff, man. Let me see what other people say. I wanted to. Okay, you guys are still talking on your own. Sweet, says Cobby. Dynamic ad. Yeah, exactly. And I forget. They also mentioned it was. Is it possible that they used it as a trade cover? Was that? I think there was a secondary. No. Okay.
I don't know.
Okay, there was a.
I know the house ad. I have it. So.
Okay. Yeah, and that's the main thing. It's that the house ad. Yeah. I love house ads, so that's it. What's up, Lee? And does this count as a birth page? Well, I don't know, because sometimes they would create a house ad, but it wouldn't get published until a little bit after the first issue of the series came out. Because they wouldn't time it properly. But yeah, so it's unless you really kind of go into your back issues and you start seeking out, trying to find, which one came first, the first time it was printed as a house ad or the first issue. I don't know, Marcus, but it could be. I guess it could. There's a good chance it's the birth page, So, yeah, I don't know.
No, I think it's the birth page.
Yeah, it's the birth ad. Yeah, really cool. And I mean, I love it just for the artwork. I mean, I never read Starman, so I don't know anything about it. A lot of these guys have told me in the past on other shows that, yeah, it's a great read, whatever, I don't know, maybe someday or whatever. But man, I love it just for the art. I don't care that I don't know anything about it, So yeah, Birth of a Star. What do you mean by that? Because there's a star in the background? The black thing in the middle? Is that what you mean, Rick? No.
Because it's a Starman. How's that?
Oh yeah. Oh right. Birth of a Star. Right. Starman.
Come on, Ruben.
Oh man, dude. By Sunday night, I'm always exhausted. I don't know, like everything goes over my head. Oh, it's always my friends who are in the studio with me who have to like wake me up and like tell me what the jokes are making reference to. Oh gosh. Okay. All right. A Star is Born. What do you mean by that, Marcus? Nah. This time I know. All right. Looks like a poker chip back there. Yeah, that does. That's true. It does look a poker chip. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Very nice. Let us go to the next one, folks. And let me see. And of course, I've got them in whatever order, but I don't remember obviously the order. So it's all going to be a surprise to me to see them. See what comes up next. So James Robinson did great work. Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. A lot of you guys told me it's great stuff. So okay. So for my next piece, we go to. Oh yeah, this one. So okay. Let me just say, guys, so this is Batman Legends of the Dark Knight, the cover for issue 34 by Tim Sale. It's 1992, all right? And I'm a Sale fan, right? I don't own any of his art. But if I was going to own a Tim Sale piece, I would not get this. And only because it's don't laugh. Let me explain myself, Caesar. And by the way, let me rewind. If I'm looking to get only one piece, that's what I meant to say. Okay, like if I want to own a Tim Sale piece, but I only intend to own one piece by this artist. Okay, this would not be it because I would want the one Sale piece to look like one of the pieces that in the style that he's known for. At this point in time, 1992, he still hadn't really, developed the style that would become the one he's known for. So for that reason alone, I would, this would not be the one. Now, if I was such a huge Sale fan that, oh yeah, anything that comes up Sale that is affordable, I buy it. Well, sure, then I would probably try to get this. You know what I mean? It's a nice, interesting historical piece. Now, I do like it. Okay. I do really like it, but primarily, here, check it out, with the nice zipatone for the sky at the top. That's really cool. But I like it just very simply for one reason, because this is done in the classic X composition. So what do I mean by that? I mean, most of you know, but for those of you who are listening and don't know what I mean by X, it's like the letter X, right? X composition. You see the figures, for instance, Batman looking down towards whoever that Blade guy is. Do you know who that is, by the way, Caesar?
No, I don't know who it is. Don't know.
No, okay. So the way they're looking at each other, right? So that's one line diagonal. There's like an invisible diagonal line that you could join that joins the two characters, right? From top right to bottom left. And then at the same time, you've got the Batman figure itself from his knee in the lower right. And if you look upwards towards the top left, it goes straight up diagonally up into the shadow that he's casting, right? And so it makes an X. And then it's a double X, of course, because Sale obviously knew what he was doing with the composition on purpose. And so he crossed their swords that way. So the swords are producing the same X in the same direction. So there you go. That's pretty much it. It's simple, but nice. I think these types of compositions to me are they have nice eye appeal. They're very clear. They provide a lot of clarity, to the eye, basically, Let me pop in here and see what you guys are saying, because I'm sorry, while I'm talking, I can't see what you're saying. And I gotta only after I shut up, then can I come in and jump into the chat and see what you guys are saying. So let me see. Yeah, see, you see, Caesar, look what Corey says. I think this is bleh for other Tim Sale stuff. Marcelo says, hey, Caesar, Ruben, my friend. Hey, everyone. Good to see you, Marcelo. What's going on? Okay, maybe not cheap. Forgot it was 12K. I don't know what you're talking about, though, Cobby. But are you talking about this one? How much did this one sell for in the end? Let me see, actually, because I actually have my... Oh, you know what? It did go for 12 grand. Yeah. Yeah, wow. Okay, so you know what, Cobby? I'm with you. Like, that is way more expensive, given that it's not from his peak period, you know, like with the style we all know him for. Wow. Hey, Derek says, what if you're the #1 Cavalier fan? Oh, is that who that guy is? Is that his name? Cavalier?
Is that the Cavalier?
Oh, Derek would know. He knows everything. What if you're the #1 Cavalier fan? Then yes, then I think 12 grand is perfectly fine to pay for this.
That's a bargain.
It's a bargain, exactly. He's just the villain of the story arc. Okay, man. Okay. X gonna give it to you. Exactly. Yeah, it's okay, Cobby. You're in the upper tax bracket. Not anymore. Yeah, accidents will do that, right? Triple X is the best. And sword crossing, right? Sick. So come to my house, Cobby. We can eat ramen. Nice. Okay, everybody's talking triple. Not me. What's up, TJ? I'm not the one talk. I talked double X. You guys took it to triple, all right? Not me. And yeah, sale 10. So that's crazy. I think it's crazy, but whatever. A lot of big sale fans, right? So yeah, no, not too cheap. I think so as well. Yeah, so you agree. That's cool. It's a cover. It's Batman. Okay, Dan, but trust me, there are plenty of covers that are Batman that you can get for far less than $12,000.
But is there Tim Sale covers of Batman that you can get for 12 grand or less?
Yeah, that's the question. Obviously, that's the $64,000 question for sure, man. You know, what can I say, right? But no, it's cool. Whatever. Like I said, not my favorite type of, obviously Tim Sale style, but yeah, still a fun cover. Like I said, I do these shows just so we can have fun looking at art that catches our eye. I don't do it so that, hey, we can like all talk about, wow, what do you think about the prices? But whatever. It's sometimes if people bring it up, yeah, sure,
No, it's a good composition. The Zipatone looks nice.
Oh, yeah. It's nice. Like I said,
I'm surprised they're still using Zipatone.
I love it. Yeah. Look, the Zipatone's great. Look, the shadow across the brick wall. It's beautiful, right? It's clear composition. Yeah, it's very like that's why I picked it. I wanted to pick it for these reasons, right? I'm just saying, it's from the time period before he finished evolving to the style that he ultimately got known for with, the Halloween stuff and, the Marvel projects he did, that's all I'm saying. So,
so did Batman just happen to have a sword on him while he was patrolling? Or
yeah, I guess you got to read the story or something because, who knows what's happening. I don't think he's carrying that around inside his cape. That's for sure. 90s art is hot. I know, but, whatever, I guess. But that's fine. Yeah, hey, listen, I love Tim Sale. So, again, and listen, even if I don't agree that it should be worth 12 grand, I wouldn't be, I wouldn't have been as shocked if it would have been, let's say, 8 grand. That's kind of more. So it's not like I was expecting it to be 3K or something, but I would have thought more like in the higher 4-digit range. That's all, What's this if you only got one stuff? Hey, man, a lot of people, believe it or not, Marcus, you know this, a lot of collectors in this hobby are like artist collectors where they just want to get 1 or 2 examples of each artist's work. A lot of guys do that. He always carries his bat sword. Yeah, but that's in his pants usually, He's always ready with his sword. But anyways, okay. So enough of that. Let us move on. Let's check out the next piece from Caesar's selections. And for that, we get this one. All right. We got nothing at the top. So And let me just say, everybody, there is no proof whatsoever that this had anything to do with Master of Kung Fu or anything like that. It's martial arts, so I just named it Martial Arts Illustration by Neal Adams from the 1970s. It probably went unused, but even if it did get used, it's highly unlikely that it was for a Marvel comic. But yeah, man, tell us a little bit about why you chose this one, Caesar.
I just like the action on it. Neal Adams, it's a nice painting.
Yeah.
His musculars, his you could see the motion in his arms and the sword.
Yeah, I love the musculature. Oh, so
yeah,
nice.
It's a great. That figure pops with the background just a little bit faded, and him just standing out there. It's great. It's a great piece.
Yeah,
I like it.
Do you like when artists do this technique? I really love it when they they pencil and ink the foreground, right, and then in the background they leave it only in pencil. Like
I think it's awesome.
Yeah, all that stuff is just pencil.
It really brings out the guy in the forefront.
Yeah, exactly. And then when you look at it up close at arm's length or closer, you notice that it's all it's all pencil, and you can really admire the beautiful pencil work. So yeah, it's pretty spectacular. I love the white highlights too, which I couldn't tell from the scan. I don't think that it's like white paint, but it could be. Sometimes the artists will use white paint for that.
Right.
Other times they just leave, they just create it by leaving the paper blank.
Leaving it white. Yeah, leaving it white.
Exactly. Yeah.
Color.
And when they leave it white, it's really cool, right? Because you're like, oh wow, they just left it untouched. It's not like they drew it, The instinct that when you're drawing, of course, is to like, okay, let me draw this, let me put down some white highlights here and here, But yeah, when they're thinking in terms of like sort of negative space and just making sure not to touch certain areas with ink, because that's what's going to be remaining as the highlights. Yeah, that's really cool. But either way, whichever way he did it, yeah, it's pretty fabulous.
A really cool cover, yeah.
Yeah,
a really cool painting, whatever you want to say.
Yeah, and what do you think? What do you think about the price? Because it sold for $8,400. What are your thoughts on that? Or do you have it?
I think that for a Neal Adams piece of that quality, I think it's a little low.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, interesting. Sean brings up a good point that Neal used to do movie posters, and he wonders, could it have been like an Asian kung fu flick? And that's a really great point, Sean.
That's a good question.
Very good point, because he did do quite a few. For whatever reason, he always did low budget, B type movie posters. But yeah, some of them were like sort of martial arts related. So man, whoever got this, like if they ultimately end up finding out that wow, it was a movie poster to some B flick. Even though it's a B flick that nobody may have heard of, like that still makes it more valuable. Like it's still and it's cooler, right? It's still it's a lot more fun to own it when you know that it's a movie poster. Especially you track down a copy of the poster, keep it together.
You find it, yeah.
Yeah, that's
even if that wasn't the final, as long as it was like the prelim or
Yeah, and I would be shocked if it wasn't the final, but yeah, you're right, exactly. Or because it's very finished. But yeah, you're right. This could have been the finished version that got rejected because for whatever reason, right? The art director's like, nah, we need more of this or less of that. And so he has to start all over again. And you know what I mean? So this could still be the initial version of one of those martial arts movie posters that he has published in the past, right? And you might never know because it might be so different that you would never think it was made for, it was intended to be for that movie. So yeah, Mike, badass Adams for sure, man, for sure. And it's classic. It's 70s, it's really peak Adams, 70s. He was on point back then,
Yeah.
Makes you think of Bolo Young. Yeah, I love Bolo Young. Digging railroads was the workout for Orientals then. Well, I don't know if it takes place that far back, though. That would have been the mid to late 1800s. Yeah, they say they don't know if it's published. As far as Heritage, could figure out. Kavi. So that's what I figured.
No, they said it was covered as one of his sketchbooks.
Oh, and then ultimately they used it for the cover of the sketchbook. But yeah, whatever. I don't count that as this is a cover. Like that came, like
I don't count that either. I don't count that either.
Yeah, it's still fun, right? Like if you own this, you're happy that okay. Like if you owned it before that happened, and then you see it happen, you're like, oh, okay, that's cool. It's a cool little thing, but it's not like, oh yeah, that makes it like worth more. Like it's whatever. It's relaxed. It's just a convention sketchbook, No, but seriously, Caesar, you know how people in this hobby, like they're always looking for ways to try to make their like unpublished pieces worth more, hoping that it gets published as a cover. Like,
of course.
Even you. I mean, I remember you saying something similar to that, right? Like, I think it was one of your pieces. Didn't you have a piece, like a commission that ultimately became like a variant? Or maybe you had mentioned, maybe this piece could become somebody. I think you were showing a piece of yours, and maybe somebody said, "Oh man, that's fantastic! Like it could be a cover." And then I think somebody said, like, "Oh yeah, like maybe you should submit it, so maybe they could use it as a variant or something, And then you were like, "Oh yeah, why not? Yeah, for sure, yeah."
Well, yeah, why not? I mean, if it's mine, I've never done it. I've never asked.
No, for sure. I'm into the old kung fu movies that were dubbed, if you couldn't tell. Apparently, I can tell now. We know now, Sean. Kung Pao, Enter the Fist. So good. Anyways, so fantastic. Yeah, great piece. And so, right, let's move on to the next piece. And let me see where we are here. All right. I chose this DC piece. Now, interestingly enough, guys, this was not an immediate choice for me. I typically wouldn't choose something from The Death of Superman. The reason I decided to choose it is because there's one particular thing about this that I do love. Okay. I mean, yeah, whatever. I like Superman. You guys know I love Superman. But I just really love the fact that, and so what this is, what you're looking at is the left is the front cover and the right side is the back cover. So that's how they publish this, right? I just love the fact that he did point of view for both of them. So on the front, the viewer, the reader is Doomsday. It's like we're looking at it from Doomsday's eyes, right? We're Doomsday looking right at Superman as he's coming in to punch us, right? So that's what I love. And kudos also to Brett Breeding. I think he did a really great job inking here, especially the face. But the whole thing, really, I really, really love this inking job. All of it. The hands, the arms, all this stuff everywhere. And then here, right, on the back cover, it's like we're looking, we become Superman and we see Doomsday coming in at us with his giant fish about to crush us. So yeah, it's just like I said, it's all about the POV for me. And I like side by side like this because you see that it's so cool that if you look from one piece to the next, right, left to right, starting at the top, I love that it's like the opposite of each other, right? Because it's Superman throwing a right cross and Doomsday throwing the left. And then at the bottom, it's Doomsday throwing the right and then Superman throwing the left. So yeah, I just really love that stuff. Beautifully balanced. And I just think it's fun. I would not have gone after it, but yeah, I just think it's a nice piece. What do you think, Caesar?
Oh, it's classic. I mean, what is that from? Is that the cover of what?
Yeah, it's called the mini series Superman, Doomsday, Hunter Prey.
Hunter Prey, right.
Yeah. And it was the third issue, front and back cover to the third issue.
No, I mean it's Jurgens, it's Superman and Doomsday. Everybody wants that.
Yeah.
Even though it's not really Death of Superman because it came after. It's way afterwards.
Well, not way. That was 92. This is 94. So 2 years.
2 years.
But yeah, Corey says Doomsday will always be top 5 character for me. There you go. A lot of people love him. You know, you grew up in that era, especially reading Superman comics. I can see why. You know. Oh yeah, newer guy coming in again. Scott Spilkey in the house. Mullet Superman 2. Well, I don't want to get into the argument, but that is not a mullet. That is just long hair. Because
don't get into that argument. It's not. You're not gonna win.
Equally long all over. But, yes. Very nice. I like it. Okay. So that's it.
Great. Is it on 2 separate boards too, or is it one?
Yeah, it was 2 separate boards. It's just for whatever reason. Yeah, for whatever reason.
Together, that's good.
Yeah. Heritage decided to just put this scan like kind of next to each other for whatever reason. But yeah, I guess they figured it looks cool that way, you know? Yeah. Look at that. See Caesar. Scott didn't get angry at me. He's laughing, saying, okay. We all had long. Yeah. Those of you who don't know, you should go to Sean's gallery and look at some of the pictures he's been posting, like especially a couple of weeks back, all the artist pictures at the conventions that he takes with him and the artist. Oh, from the early 90s, Sean had some sweet long hair, some badass Metallica hairstyle. But yeah, a lot of us did have longer hair then for sure. But okay, not too much interest in the chat for this piece tonight. What can I say? You can't please everybody all of the time. The longer the hair, the higher the print run. Could be, Cobby. Sean Bon Jovi, nice. I like that. All right, let's go over to Caesar's next pick here, and that is look at that, back-to-back Superman.
Back-to-back Superman.
Yeah. Tell me why you picked, because there was a lot of Superman stuff. So tell me why.
I was watching all of them, but I picked this one because I like the yin and the yang.
Yeah.
Both on the planet and Superman and the Kryptonian figure. I don't know if that's supposed to be Eradicator or not.
But yeah, I think so. I think it's just a Kryptonian figure.
Yeah, just a Kryptonian dude. But I like the yin and the yang, especially in black and white. Look how much you actually see it a lot more than you would in the color comic.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
You know, and you get Superman and a Kryptonian. I mean, it's a nice cover. Yeah. It's a nice design.
Yeah. That's exactly.
Looks great in black and white.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. It's cool. I like that whole idea of it's like you're lifting up a whole planet, because it's Superman. He's been known to like move planets out of orbit or into orbit. Right. So it's that whole thing about and then plus it's kind of like a play on Atlas. Right, the whole Atlas, the famous Atlas statue of the planet on his back or whatever, So I like it for sure for that reason. I did also want to say, and I wasn't gonna say, but since Mark brought it up, let me put it up there. Yeah, I was like, wait a second, is this supposed to be Earth on the left-hand side? Because it kind of does over here look like, this is where like the Gulf of Mexico is here, right? So this would be the United States, and this is Canada, right? And Alaska, I guess, here. So yeah, not the greatest interpretation of North America, but I guess it is that. This, I suppose, is supposed to be Krypton.
Since I'm guessing.
Yeah, since it's a Kryptonian lifting it up, whatever. Yeah, I don't know, but but fun design, like you say, yeah. Gulf of America versus Gulf of Mexico. Gulf of Mexico wins. Gulf of Mexico it is, baby, now and forevermore. The weight of the world on their shoulders. Nice one, like that. TJ, Gulf of America versus Gulf of Gulf of L, exactly. But yeah, very fun. Okay, all right. I'll go back to my next piece, and that is, yeah. So you guys probably saw there were 2 different pages from this issue, and it's very early Mignola. Okay, it's not my favorite era of Mignola. My favorite era of Mignola is late 80s. But but I still really like it. Even though, some of the stuff is wonky, how he did musculature and like, for example, here, whatever. I'm not going to get into the, micro details of it all or whatever, but whatever. There are some issues, in the drawing, but he's just starting out his career at this point, so it's to be expected. But what I really like about it is the fact that he was already this early on really, really good at using lighting techniques. This is like fabulous. I mean, look at all these panels. It's just like, wow. Shadow and light. I mean, yeah, this is really, really nice. I like when it's extreme light here down on this left corner panel, right? Doing it with these diagonal parallel lines. And it's just, as a whole, at arm's length, the whole thing just looks very classic. It's got a very classic, romanticized look to it. Yeah, I just really, really like it. And if anybody's curious, it went for just under $4,000, $40 short of $4,000. Or as Caesar would always have me say it, 3,960. Right? Not a quarter of a century.
Great page. That's classic early Mignola, It's unmistakable that that's Mignola, Especially his early art. It's great. The black and white, what he's known for is all there. You see it on that page.
Yeah, I mean, especially for so early on, like I say. But I remember, I was buying Marvel Fanfare at the time. So this is 1983. So I was like 13. And I remember thinking, like, I love Marvel Fanfare because it always offered me an opportunity to be introduced to another new artist every issue, and sometimes because of those pinups at the back, multiple artists maybe, and I remember thinking, like, when this issue came out, I remember like, wow, I don't know who this Mignola guy is, but like, holy crap, he's good. Wow, this guy's gonna be awesome, you could immediately see, that's pretty nice stuff, Cosmic Odyssey, Marcus. I'm down with that. I'm kind of sick of seeing it because of you know what reason. Nice price on this. Yeah, you think so? I don't know. Comics Den, let's down the 2K path. But yeah, you could see how this guy was going to become something big in this industry. Like if you could draw this already when you the year that you broke in, that's really, really, really impressive. So yeah, I thought it deserved showing. I wish I could have shown both of them because the other one's also pretty fantastic with all these water. There's a giant panel with a water wave. Like, oh man, just the way he did the water, the techniques. He was already so amazing at such a young age.
Yeah, he was. It's a fantastic page.
Yeah. So, all right. Yeah, Gothic metal cover of Surfing USA is the song choice for this. Nice. All right. Let's keep this rolling. And let's see what you chose next, Caesar.
What did I choose?
Oh, look at that. Okay. The Adventure Comics 419 by Alex Toth, 1971. And it sold for really, wow, 21,600. Check this out. Let me do one tier one tier at a time. All right. Yeah. Talk to us as I so slowly scroll down here on this one.
So I mean, what I love about it's so simple.
Right.
Page, but it tells you exactly what's going on in the story. Without words, you know what's going on.
Yeah.
And the action is there, and it's not a heavily detailed page. You can say there's a lot to it, but it's not heavily detailed.
No, but that's the thing. That was his style, right? It was Toth was all about minimalism, right? That's what he was known for. So, but even though his style is very, sort of simplistic, minimalism, blocky, you can still say in a different context, there's still quite a lot of detail in the sense that look at how much, right? Like look at how much of each panel is actually taken up with artwork.
Each
but he
panel
was
has everything it needs for you to know in the story. I mean, it's all there.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Everything that needs to be there, perfectly balanced, blacks and whites. Yeah. It's fantastic.
And then I look at the last panel of Black Canary. I mean, nowadays that's a simple sketch, but look how beautiful it is. I mean, it's just great.
Absolutely. Yeah, Black Canary knows how to party indeed. And CJ, they're all great, but loving that first panel. Yeah, let me go down like this again. Yeah, so simplistic, but it's beautiful. But that's what he was known for. I love the second panel. That's kind of my favorite panel.
Yeah.
Just getting herself into the van, like it's just what a great angle it is. Just what little we see of her. Her knees. Yeah, it's really, really great. From a collector standpoint, I did want to kind of point out, although I'm not in the market for wanting to spend, tens of thousands for panel pages. I don't care who the artist is. But if I was, I have to admit, I'm in the group of people who I would probably not get this one because it's mostly, not all, but mostly all marker. For me, that's sad to see that all the large black areas, it's completely marker, right? And you can tell that in the background, especially. See the foreground, like this stuff and like Black Canary here, let's say, that stuff it's not jet black, obviously. You can call it lighter black, but in the background, it's not just lighter black. You can tell it's bleeding. It bled into the paper. And that's the thing. For me to spend like $22,000, I feel like, oh man, I really would need it to be, India ink, not markers, But again, part of that is also because at that kind of money, I guess I'm always scared that, well, I don't know, what if it starts turning even more purple? Like here, you see here on her shoulder, on her back, you see it's turning purple a bit, right? And these little dots patterns in the background, it's turning purple. Here where you see me swirling the pointer, it's a little bit of purple in there. Yeah, so I'd just be kind of worried about the fact that it's all marker for that kind of money. But other ways, other than that though, yeah, I love it. I think it's really great. Covey says, great page and Hall of Fame level artist, 22K, that high or low, that high. Yeah, I would say it's fair price for this, but I'm only saying that, Covey, because in recent months, there have been other Black Canary pages by Toth selling, and all of them have been selling for around this level. Yeah, so, it wasn't just a one-off thing, just have it re-inked, exactly. Yeah, like Caesar. Let's not get into a fight with me and Caesar now. Caesar is don't forget, Caesar is on the side of having it re-inked. He thinks it'll be saving it if he re-inks it. So, and Caesar and I are not close enough in physical proximity for us to settle it with like a fist fight or. So unfortunately, we're just gonna have to just not talk about it and leave it at that. And HA's imaging makes that even more blatant up close. Yeah, exactly, Copy. I don't know, market bit for what's on the page seems high. No, like I said, if you guys feel that way, that's okay, right? But yeah, best to re-ink. And could got 2 sweet Kirby FF pages for less. Again, it all depends on what your personal tastes are, right? So, but no, Toth is great, and I love that. Okay. Let me go to my next piece, and that is, this one. I love this one, man.
That was a good piece.
I figure you would love this one too, man.
What's up? Keith Giffen, Dr. Fate Black Flash backup story, I guess, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the Flash 309 when he was doing those Dr. Fate backups. Guys, I don't know if, those of you who were around at the time, if you remember, but back when these were like, I don't know, say 1-year-old back issues, 2-year-old back issues, these issues of the Flash would be in bins for like $5 because Giffen was a hot artist at the time, and back in those days in the 80s, any hot artist, they're the back issues of books they worked on, they would get marked up. And so you would even see it in the price guides. The Overstreets would actually tell you, you would see the price for, the Flash issues before this that didn't have the backups. And they'd be like maybe $2 or listed at $2 or $1.50. And then you'd see, Giffen, Dr. Fate backup, $3 or $5 or whatever in the price guide, So he was really hot back then. But just lovely technique. I love this panel right here, the second panel, just the blast of light. I love how you do that to show that it's light blasting. This first panel, I love how he does this cool technique here. Obviously, the money shot's gorgeous, with the Larry Mahlstedt inking. I think Mahlstedt and Giffen always worked really well together, But yeah, that's it. It's just, I love Dr. Fate, one of my favorite DC costumes. So, I mean, just for the character design, one of my all-time favorite characters, I just really love this page. And actually, Caesar, I actually was wondering if you might have actually picked it, because not only are you a DC guy, but I know you love Giffen. So I thought, I bet you we're both going to pick this one. That's how I was guessing.
I didn't. No,
Corey, that you should always be honest with me. I hate people who bullshit. And that we can't all love the same shit. You know that, man. So don't be shy. I want you guys to tell me and be honest. I mean, like, as long as you're not saying it in a crass way, like, sucks. You know what I mean? Like, that's fine. It's not, not everybody can like the same stuff. That's cool. But if it doesn't do anything for you, no problem. I really like it. A lot of people like it, and I'm sure a lot don't or don't care for it, Ditko in-body effects. Yeah, right, CJ. It's nice Ruben thinks about the chat when picking pieces. Exactly, Marvel fan. Exactly. See, that's the thing. That's the thing also, guys. Keep in mind, and he's telling the truth about that. That's the absolute truth. When I make my picks, like I tell my guests, everybody who comes into the studio to do these kinds of shows, I always tell them, whatever, whatever, pick what you want. I mean, I may jokingly sometimes say, maybe try to pick a little bit Marvel, not 100% DC, just because we do have, more Marvel fans probably. But yeah, generally I say, whatever, man, pick what you want. It's all good. But for me,
my response to that was, no, I'm not taking the audience into consideration. I'm picking what I want.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. See, you see now how's that for honesty, Corey? Look at that. That's Caesar being honest with you. But in all seriousness, I realize that it is my channel, it's my show. And I do take you guys into account. I know, and not just you guys, don't forget, you guys represent roughly 10% of the overall views that each episode gets, right? 90% are people watching on Rewind, right? So yeah, I know there's varied tastes out there. A lot of people, hundreds of people will watch. And so, yeah, I do take what I like into account, but also what I think, a wide variety that other, as many of you as possible will also enjoy. Let's put it that way, $5. I don't know. I'm sure it went for a lot more than $5.
Went for $5K.
Jason, you're always leaving so early these last few months. Great picks. Got a split. Have a good weekend. You too, my friend. Enjoyed C2E2. Wow. C2E2 already? Wow. Isn't that usually in the summer? Oh, okay.
We're almost there.
Great week there, Jason. So much DC, the people watching have dropped off. It's possible. Who knows? People come and go, as you know, Tom. Let me see ya. Did you pick Marvel Spotlight 32 cover? That was not in there as far as I remember. Has that ever hit the market? The Spotlight 32? Oh, Spotlight 32. Sorry. I was thinking, I was thinking of number 2. I was thinking the Werewolf by Night. I guess you'll have to stick around, Stanley, and find out and see if I picked it. Okay, let me move along and see if we can pick up some more Marvel fans. Although the next piece may still be DC, who knows? Definitely a lot of DC here tonight. So let me see. All right. So this is your next one, Caesar. Yep, DC it is. But hey, who cares, guys? Come on, man. Joe Kubert, Hawkman. I mean, come on. Raven Bold, number 43, very early 1962, guys. Check it out.
So I like this page because it's Joe Kubert. It's Hawkman. It's got that great hawk in the background. I know.
Yeah.
So I was looking at the panel. I didn't realize that the hawk was wearing a human mask and that Hawkman.
Yeah.
That was weird to me.
Really weird, yeah. And but you can actually, Caesar, you can even actually see this bird right here flying away. You can see that he's got some kind of like mask over his head.
He have a mask over his head.
It's so weird, yeah.
All right. Besides, other than that, the hawk and the Hawkman together on the page, it's the inks on it. It's just great.
Yeah, I love
the feathers on the Hawkman. The feathers on the hawk.
Yeah, yeah, beautiful brush strokes here on the wings, everywhere. I've always been a massive Joe Kubert fan. For his entire career. I mean, I would say no. I'm not a fan of his 1940 stuff, like when he was, 14, 15 years old. It looks totally different and, kind of, archaic. But, yeah, pretty much from like the 1960s onward, until he passed away. I love everything he ever did. I mean, big fan always,
Great page.
Yeah, this one went... Yeah, 10K, almost 11. Yeah. Let's see if there's anybody needing to say anything about that. Oh, Corey says, I loved the wings on this. Yeah. Yeah. I love winged characters in any case. But yeah, Dan says gorgeous. Yeah. Kavi thinks it's nice and seems reasonable. Kubert full splash, Silver Age Hawkman for 11K. Yeah. Yeah, but just imagine, Kavi, imagine how much it would go for. Right? If this can go for 11K, basically, imagine what it would go for if Hawkman was right side up and was wearing his what do you call it? The
mask, helmet, whatever.
Yeah, the helmet or whatever. Yeah. Holy crap! Yeah, that would really go for a lot more. So, yeah. But yeah, very nice, man. Love Joe Kubert, like I said. So anytime I see his work, I'm happy. 1962, Marcus. So yeah. I don't know the size of it, but yeah, it would be large art for sure. Yeah, exactly, Kavi. In your portfolio, you just flip it up. You flip it upside down in your portfolio. Exactly. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah. Well, that's great work in general. Yeah, for sure, CJ. This is a fallen angel look. All right. Very good. Okay. Let us see what my next choice is. Let's see here. All right. Oops, sorry. Here we go. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, so I wanted to show, for those of you who are into non-Marvel and DC stuff, I wanted to show this because I've always loved Corben, but especially stuff with the pointillism. It's just fabulous. But look at the technique. Look at the technique here. I'm not even sure how he did it because it's like it's gray. It's like it's this weird looking gray on his face, I guess it could be wash. He prepares some ink wash and then does pointillism with the ink wash. Yeah, I don't know how he did his work, how he created these effects exactly, but I always really, really just admired how it looked, even up close like this or in print. It always looks fantastic. And I gotta say, he was also great with anatomy. And those of you who love the ladies would appreciate this. I mean, in all seriousness, he understood that when a woman with large breasts, especially, lies on her back, the breasts have to fall to the sides, and that's what's going on. He does the proper stretching of the t-shirt, effect here. And look at that. I love this. I love that the anatomy is it's pitch perfect. I love the work here, how he did her thighs, right? It's just, I think this is all really, really, really gorgeous work everywhere. And yeah, it's just here. And here, I'm not sure. I didn't really read the description, so I'm not sure. But it appears like it's a paste over of the face here, and this one as well. Probably original art paste over, but again, I didn't read it. And we're not trying to sell it, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, look at the pointillism here on his face here, and it's like, wow, the way it blends even into the darker shadows. There's still pointillism done in there, the thin wispy hair. I don't know, man. I've always loved Corben. Then you step out from far at arm's length, and God, I just think it looks fantastic. I don't know. You ever been a Corben fan by any chance, Caesar?
No, not really. But I can appreciate it. It's a good looking page. That face in the first panel grabs you. Yeah. It looks real.
Yeah. Everything Corben does is great to Corey. Okay, well, I'm glad you're a fan of this one, if not the Giffen one, then, Corey. He uses them always. Great effects. Yeah, exactly, CJ. That's not the Image way of big breasts. No. For Image, they have to be stiff and standing at attention, like rock hard. His droop was dope. Exactly, Mark. Exactly. Absolutely, Cody. Stellar technique. Absolutely. Yeah. Love the fifth panel. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, yeah. I mean, I love them all, but yeah, for sure, Rick. Yeah, really great stuff. And by the way, if anybody curious, this is his. When I first spotted the piece, I was like, oh, this is going to be some kind of one of his 70s stories or something, or early 80s. And then I realized, oh, wow, it's from the 90s. It's, I think, 1992. And for anybody interested, yeah, his work always sells for good money. This one sold for $7,500.
Whoa.
Yeah, big money, man. Big money. Especially, you think about it, like it's the majority of the market, of the comic art market, most people, they've never read this.
Right.
Most of them don't know what this is. There's no superheroes or whatever. But still gets a lot of money for his stuff for sure. So cool. All right. Let us go on to your next piece, man, and see what that is. Oh yeah, one of your all-time faves, baby.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
that was the last minute edition.
Oh yeah. Wow.
I didn't feel right not picking it.
The Grell Warlord guilted you into it.
Yes, the Grell Warlord. I mean, it's just a great page. I mean, to me, when you see that page, you can hear the kill just getting louder and louder in your head when you're looking at the page,
Yeah, I love this.
It's a great effect.
Yeah.
And exactly. It's from issue 2. That's as early as you're going to get. I mean,
Yeah, I was impressed by that. I've seen early ones, right? We've seen some early ones show up, but man, I couldn't. When I saw this, I was like, wow, is this the first time we've seen an issue 2 page? Like I couldn't remember ever, knowing if we had ever seen stuff this early in the run,
Right. No, it's a great page. It's got a big full figure Warlord right there.
Yeah, that's really, yeah, I love that. Yeah, and it's early Grell pencils and inks, guys. Yeah, for most of this run, he did not ink himself, so that was pretty fun to see as well. That usually it was somebody else inking, and no, on this one he inked himself, so it's pure Grell. So yeah, no, I think that one
go for. I don't know.
Oh yeah, so this one sold for $4,800. Yeah, do you think that's a lot or?
No, I think that's good.
Look whose it is.
Is that Rick's?
What? Are you serious, Rick? Are you serious? Did you really? That was yours? You consigned it? And if you did, I'm just curious, why? I thought this is the kind of stuff you would actually try to acquire. Wow. Wow. Yeah, look at Sean revealing that was Rick Welch's. He's telling on you, Rick. Warlord would benefit from an IDW artist edition. Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, nice swinging blades and balls. Exactly. Yeah. Warlord. Yeah, Tom agrees. Yeah, on the artist edition. Nice page, Rick. Yeah, well, don't congratulate Rick on it. He dumped it. Grell penciled and ink through. Did he pencil and ink that far? The first 14? Wow. Hey, thanks for dropping the knowledge, Rick. I don't remember that. Wow. Okay. I thought it was just the first few issues. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty cool. You thought it was kind of low, Marcus. Interesting. Okay. I thought it was just right. But yeah, I don't know. Building a war chest for a piece you're going after in the summer. Nice. All right. Well, that I get. I understand that's coming up, so you don't have to tell us anything about that. That's cool. But thanks for sharing that. That's cool. Set it free. Yes, sir. Yeah. Good luck on that piece. But you'll have to let us know after it happens. You'll have to let us know whether you ultimately landed it or not. I revealed it after he mentioned it. I wouldn't put my buddy on the spot. Relax, Sean. Relax. You're all right, man. I'm just yanking your chain. You're welcome, of course, Rick. But yeah, no, that's a cool one. That's a great one for a guilty pick that you chose, Caesar.
For what?
It's a good one given the fact that it was a guilty pick for you. Like you felt guilty not having chosen it initially,
Yeah.
So, all right. Let me see what my next one is. Oh yeah, okay. So sorry, Marvel fans, but I'm just kind of going mainly for things that caught my eye, regardless of Marvel or DC. And I love Ditko. Spider-Man. Yeah, I love the Creeper. Another DC character who, again, haven't read much of him, but I just love his kooky, crazy design. His character design. Yeah. And it's this particular page. The action, it's every panel is well balanced, right? Look at this second panel. Like the three characters are placed in a triangular fashion. So it's really clear to the eye, very pleasing and easy to look at. Here you got in the first panel, right? It's the diagonal orientation, really, really nice. A lot of action with Creeper, throwing these guys around like crazy, front shots, back shots. Yeah, I mean, it's like, and then of course you get the laughter, the ha 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 ha, right? And even the excellent, simple yet excellent balanced composition of the last panel, right? With the two guys on the left, on the right, facing, and the opposite way, where Creeper and the other guy are facing towards us. Yeah, just great, just really nicely designed. And I always felt like if I was wanting to own Ditko, I certainly couldn't afford Spidey, and Creeper is probably what I would go for. I would absolutely, if even today, if I was like, man, I really need to get a great Ditko, I'd be tempted by getting maybe ROM pages because I loved ROM. But yeah, I think I'd want to get a Ditko because it reminds me of the Spidey pages, except it's Creeper instead of Spidey,
right.
And for anybody curious, this one sold for $21,600.
Would you go for a Speedball page?
Yeah, I would actually. I remember when it came out, I bought it. I was so excited to see, oh, look, Ditko's still getting a job. Like they're giving him an ongoing title. Like, holy crap, I can get in on the ground floor starting from issue 1. And it's not Spidey, but who cares? This is so fun. And his art looked great, And I believe in the first issue, wasn't it Butch Geis who inked him? I think it was Geis.
Remember.
Yeah. But anyways, I would, Speedball, I enjoyed. If it's a good page, for sure. Oh yeah, and thanks for reminding me. That's true, Marcus. Yeah. So it's 21,600, guys. Think about that. That's all it takes for a first appearance. This is a first appearance page. It's not his birth page, so it's not the first page of the issue he comes out on. It's this is from showcase number 73. But yeah, his first appearance, Creeper's first appearance. So a well-known DC character by a legendary artist with fantastic A quality or A plus, you can even say quality content on the page. From the first appearance, 21 grand. I mean, to me, that's still a bargain. I think this still leaves a lot of room for upward movement, for anybody who's into the, speculating and investing part of the hobby. But yeah, that's a banging page for sure, man. He reminds you of Squirrel Girl, does he? Night guy. Oh, another guy. Corey always has to leave early. Good night, Corey. Enjoy the rewind, and leave me another comment if you can. Thanks. Yeah. So yeah. I think it's great, and I think it's a bargain given that it's his first appearance. Yeah. So okay. Let me see here. Your next piece, Caesar. Oh, look at that! Caesar picked Marvel. Tom, it's Marvel. Wow, look at this.
Well, yeah, it's Ghost Rider 1. I mean, who doesn't love Ghost Rider?
Yeah, who didn't buy this when it came out, right?
Yeah, who didn't buy this when it came out?
Wow. Yeah, first issue, first page.
First issue, first page, first appearance of the new Ghost Rider, right?
That's right. Yeah, I guess it's birth page of the new version of the Ghost Rider. Yeah, and this one sold for same exact price as the Ditko, 21,600. Yeah.
Yeah. So which was the better buy?
Man, that's tough. That's tough. I gotta say, better buy, because when you're talking better buy, now you're kind of talking more about like the value and potential future value. Right. Marvel, the fact that this is Marvel will always give it, more, I suppose, demand from, more people, potential buyers kind of thing. But I'm not convinced that either one has more potential for upward growth. I think maybe the upward growth potential is potentially similar. I don't know. I could be wrong. Everybody probably thinks I'm wrong because, Marvel always gets definitely, Marvel for sure. You go with the Marvel over the DC, but I don't know. The other one is much older, and this one is still kind of modern or whatever. I don't know. I'm sure, Caesar, you probably think this one is the better buy.
No, I think the Ditko one is better.
Oh, yeah? Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what's your thought process behind that?
Because it's Ditko. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. The artist. I mean, I think the artist name.
I think on this one, the artist trumps the.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
Trumps the.
Finally.
The company.
Right. Yeah.
Marvel DC.
Hey, CJ picks the Ditko. Oh my God! Even number one Marvel fan Tom says I would say the Ditko. Look at that! Finally, we're getting people to think a little bit more, creatively. Yeah, think a little more deeply than just Marvel better than DC. Yeah, Creeper getting a movie someday. Oh, you think so? I don't know about that.
I don't think so.
Maybe a guest appearance in some movie, but anything can happen there, right? Yeah, it depends if Nick Cage does another movie. But
great image of Ghost Rider.
Again, yeah, for sure.
What is that? Zipatone and nice faded look,
Well, but here's the thing. Is actually, okay, now I love Zipatone. A lot of us love Zipatone. I will say, in this particular instance, this is one of those rare moments where I feel the way they did it, using all that Zipatone to make it create that ghostly image, right? So the reader can see he's not really there, right? It's like a ghostly image in the sky sort of thing, right? I believe that as far as the original art hobby is concerned, forget, you know, the intent of the story. That doesn't matter. Just in terms of collectability, I believe this is one of those rare instances where this technique actually hurt it, because being from the first issue and it's the first page and first appearance of this new version, I would go out, and I don't think I'd be going out on too far of a limb saying that if that image of Ghost Rider was actually him, let's say, on the street rather than, you know, floating in the sky, and they didn't do it with Zipatone, like if it was full pencils, inks, I think that would have sold for way more than 21,000. That's how I feel. I mean, I could be wrong. Obviously,
ghostly image. The ghostly image makes it look.
Yeah, like I said, I could be wrong. You know, Comet says I'd rather get 10 $2,000 Mignolas. All right, you have to hear the creeper laugh for 2 hours. Yeah, that's true. You might have to. That's true. Hey, if they do the laugh really well, it might not be bad. The creeper could do with a Tom King reboot. Kind of feels like one of those characters. Rider is awesome, but IMO way over. Wow, you thought this was overpriced? Interesting, Tom. Wow. And even as a Marvel fan, wow. Like I don't think that it was. I don't think it was overpriced. I also don't think it was underpriced, but I don't think it was. Yeah, I definitely don't think it was. Like, you think way overpriced? Wow. That shocks me, to be honest, Tom. Wow. So ironically, maybe because of post-COVID boom, DC keys are growing versus many Marvel keys are softer. Silver and bronze comics. Yeah, I don't know. But again, comics and art, right, because of the one-of-a-kind situation, it's apples and oranges, right? So it's difficult to sort of compare the two. You could be right, though. So this issue, oh, yeah, well, for sure. You know, right? Most people today didn't buy Showcase 73 off the stands. We know that, right? So that's for sure, Marcus. What would a dealer price this at? Well, who knows, right? Like, I would say if they bought it for 21.6 at this auction, I feel minimum they'd be putting it at 30 to 35. That's my guess. You know, punch to the gut and kick to the balls dollars. All right. Yeah, let us move on though. But yeah, it's a fun piece, very memorable for a lot of us who were buying comics in this era. Okay, let me get to my next choice, and that is, I love these. DC, I don't apologize because first of all, I love dinosaurs, I love Swamp Thing, and I've always been as much of a Redondo fan on this particular series. I was always a fan of his run from, you know, whatever issue 11 onward, whatever issues he did, as I was of the rights and stuff that, you know, came before it. And I, you know, with him in the jungle fighting dinosaur, yeah, I always loved Redondo, and I loved his version of Swamp Thing. I don't know, man. I just love it. Yeah, that's some nice images of Swamp Thing. Cool dinosaur. Yeah, I especially like this. Sorry, I didn't hear that, Caesar.
Said cool dinosaur.
Yeah. I love it. He shoved the thing into his mouth here, and at the end, it looks like he's kind of stabbed him in the mouth with it, where he had to kind of close his mouth to snap it in half here. Yeah. You know what's kooky is that, I mean, of course, I didn't read this, so maybe there's a reason for it with the story. And I guess it probably is, since, you know, Swamp Thing never took place in the prehistoric era. So I guess there's a weird, kooky reason why, you know, there's a dinosaur here to begin with. So that would explain why it's kind of like a T-Rex, but he didn't actually draw a T-Rex.
Right.
Yeah, he kind of drew his own made up dinosaur or whatever, you know. Yeah, but I like this. But how about you guys in the chat, man? Any of you guys like this stuff? Let me jump in. Carl coming in to say hi. What's up, Carl? Late to the party as always. You were. I made a comment about you at the beginning because I was
Ruben was worried about you.
Yeah, I was worried about you, man. I thought I was just kind of I not only were you here late, but more importantly, you didn't do any videos this week at all. I was like, holy crap, like that's not like you. You usually do one, if not two. So yeah, I was a bit worried, but good to see you're all good, man. And no pre-auction price. Oh, on the other one, right? And oh man, Swampy, you like Javi? You like the Redondo? More on the site where it would sell, right? Well, it would depend what site it would sell on, right? Rickster likes Redondo. There's another fan. Okay, I'm good with that. And let's see. He just had a busy week, he says. We were away for the weekend. Okay, good. Glad to hear you're all right. I like Nestor's work on Rima. Oh, that stuff's even better, perhaps. Beautiful. Not a Swamp Thing fan. Okay, that's okay. But yeah, that Rima stuff's beautiful. I mean, hell, you talk about artist editions, guys. I would love an artist edition. I would buy one on Rima. And I don't care about Rima. I just love the artwork on it. And I would buy it just to have the art. It's just fantastic. 5K and change. 8 times that for Byrne page from issue 5. Oh, yeah. Awesome page, but tough to get. Yeah, so yeah, this one was 5,280. Yeah. I mean, these have been going up as well, but in comparison today, it just seems very affordable now. It's all relative, right? Dino's always own the best bookstores, Marcus. You like the Redondo too? Yeah, good. Good, man. I'm happy to hear that. That's good. Stanley says, show the Man of Steel 19 page for Carl. Sorry, man, but if I had to choose for specific guys in the chat, we'd be here all night because I'd have to choose, like dozens and dozens of pieces. And okay, but anyways, so that's that one. I really like that. Let's go to your next piece, Caesar, and see what we got here. Tell us about. Oh yeah, this one. This is for everybody who didn't remember. It's not a Lobo cover. It is a cover to one of my all-time favorite prozines, Comics Interview. And it's not from the regular run. Every now and then they would do these specials. And so this was a Comics Interview super special from 1992. And it's the cover. Lobo, featuring Lobo from the peak period of his hotness in the hobby.
Right. So it's a great Simon Beasley cover,
Yeah.
From Lobo's Back, I believe. So it's around the second miniseries. But, it's a black and white piece. Most of Beasley's art, the covers were painted. So it's a nice cover quality, for a fanzine.
Yeah.
But, if you're going to want a Beasley Lobo, if you can't get an interior, you can't afford a painted cover. That was your shot right there.
Yeah, for sure. For you curiosity seekers, it's 14,400 this one sold for. And, like you said, Caesar, compared, to the fact that all those series covers that are painted are, in the hundreds of thousands or at least tens of thousands. Yeah, this is a great alternate choice for a Bisley Lobo fan that can't afford that level of, painted cover. Yeah, 14.4. Yeah. It's a good, more, I won't say affordable to most of us, but still much more affordable than all the series covers for sure, Yeah. And I actually like, again, I think although the painted covers are cool, again, I think most collectors in the hobby, they still prefer black and white just because that's the traditional way of doing comic book art throughout history.
Do they?
Yeah. Yeah, I think, come on. I'm saying, like, if it was, hypothetical situation, if it was possible to take a poll of every single comic art collector in the hobby, however many there are, thousands, right? I think if you just asked, do you prefer pen and ink art or painted pieces? What do you prefer? I absolutely believe that not only would it be a majority of people that say pen and ink art, I absolutely also believe, Caesar, that the percentage of votes would be in the 95% at least. But yeah, make your argument against it, man.
Really? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have a preference. I mean,
oh, come on. Let's okay. Think of it this way. Look at your own collection, right? Like, my
collection is based on affordability.
Well, not
paintings cost more than black and white drawings.
Nah, right? Come on, Caesar. Come on, dude. That's not true.
It is true.
No. Hold on. No.
Let me say it's affordability.
No.
I don't collect Marvel art because it's always more expensive than DC art. Right? I mean, I read Jim Lee's X-Men. I read Bob Liefeld's New Moons. I love that art, but it's always been more expensive. Right?
Well, yeah, but hold on.
Okay, and wait. Within my DC collection, there is not a lot of Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman covers. They're second and third tier covers because they're more affordable than those. It's all about affordability.
Okay. Then let me make a counterpoint though, and I'd like to see. I'd like to see what you say to this, right?
All right.
Okay, so we've both been collecting since the 90s, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know as well as I do, right, that in the 90s, like especially, let's say the internet era, like the late 90s, 97, 98, 99, let's say the late 90s into, even into the mid 2000s. In all that time, you could get like even when like, okay, let's say mid 2000s when let's apples to apples in the sense of the same character, same title. If you did black and white, and the black and white was like a $3,000 piece, let's say, back in those days, you could get a painted cover for like $1,200, $1,500, because in those days, nobody wanted the painted covers. Everybody was kind of like, well, but it's not black and white. Covers are usually, art's usually black and white. Like painted covers look cool, but, most art is not painted. So it's kind of like it's not really traditional media. Now, over the years since then, more people have, gained an appreciation for the painted stuff. But I would still absolutely say that, you could still, because you were still collecting at a time where you could get DC, let's say something cool like DC Spectre. Remember there was a time in the first half of the 2000s where like you could get really killer Spectre covers for like between, I don't know, $1,400 to $3,000. And oftentimes they were like $1,800, $2,000. And this is at a time where even, black and whites were also still selling for $2,000. So I feel like you had opportunities to buy cool painted DC covers that you could have afforded. Because I know I absolutely could have afforded them back then. So I know you could have afforded them back then. So I don't know. What do you say to that?
No, I don't remember having paintings affordable.
Really?
Really?
Wow.
I mean, for example, I owned the Dr. Fate #1 painting, right? I bought it.
What?
The Dr. Fate #1 by Sean McManus. That's a painting.
Yeah.
So I saw it when Mitch had it for sale.
Yeah.
Right? It was $800. Way more than any black and white cover I've ever paid for. And I couldn't buy it. I couldn't afford it. Because I was buying covers at like $300, $400, $500 maybe.
Yeah,
I wasn't paying $1,000 yet.
Okay, but
so I think your perspective is a little off, but
no, but that's kind of my point, though. I mean, when we're at a point in the hobby where you're buying $300 to $500 in those days, come on, let's be a little more honest. if you really wanted it, you could have stretched, knowing that you had paid
but
knowing
I know I could have stretched it, but it would have cost more than what covers that I were buying were costing.
Oh, I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you this, Caesar.
Trust me, I would not have passed up on that Dr. Fate cover if it was within my range.
Okay, but let me tell you this. I'm telling you not only from a collector standpoint. My memory of it is what it is. It's because even from a selling standpoint, right? I actually had some of those painted rampaging Hulk covers from the 70s, right?
Mm-hmm.
And those were 15 to 1800 when I had them. And at the time, I was paying on average 2500 for the late 70s, early 80s Hulk comic book covers.
Well, that's a magazine versus the mainstream comic.
Yeah, but come on. Most of the paintings were on magazines back in those days. I mean, come on.
I didn't look at those. I wasn't a magazine collector. I was a comic book collector.
No, and that's true. And which does help explain as well the reason why back in those days it was tougher to sell. Even for me, it was tougher to sell those covers because people thought, oh yeah, whatever, magazine, not exactly a comic, blah blah blah. And again, thankfully, as the hobby has grown over the last couple of decades, many more people came in who didn't give a shit about that and were just like, yeah, whatever. It looks cool, it looks great, so I'm going to buy it no matter what, So happy to say that. But okay, anyways, it's good discussion. All right, let's check out here the next one. All right. So I picked this one. Honestly, typically I would probably not have chosen a Spidey, a Bagley Spidey cover. I am a Spidey lover. I am a Bagley fan. The only reason I chose to pick one this time, though, is simply because it's especially in this time frame. Bagley inked himself, and I thought he did a spectacular job. I thought this is an era where he was typically being inked by Randy Emberlin, and when I look back at that stuff these days, I find it's kind of dated looking. It's nostalgic, but it's quality wise, it's kind of dated looking. The stuff from the past 15 years looks way better with John Dell inking and Andrew Hennessy, But yeah, here I just feel like he did great inking work, great shadow work. I just think it's the whole idea of lifting up the tombstone, about to crush Chameleon's head with it. I know it's really, really dramatic, really, really great looking. And just for that reason alone, I was just like, yeah, always kind of been attracted to this one, And let me see if anybody else cares about this.
Good Bagley cover. Spider-Man and a villain. That's good.
Yeah, you like it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic, actually. How many McGinnis pieces do you have? I actually only own 2, TJ. And they don't contain McGinnis girls. I got rid of all of those years ago. One of them is it has a girl as the central figure, but she's not a, classic McGinnis girl with a, high fashion model type. It's just a regular looking girl. And the other one is it's got a woman, but really, really tiny. And it's a cover to a gothic romance cover. Both of which I will eventually be selling. Bagley getting so pricey. I love it, but can't go after these. Yeah. And the other. So this one, Spidey, the 90s nostalgia is strong out there for Spidey collectors. That's true. And this one sold for $40,800.
Whoa.
Sorry, what?
Whoa.
Is it a lot?
That's a lot to me.
Yeah. Karma, chameleon. I like Bagley, just not his work to collect. Yeah, that again, there's lots of artists like that, Tom, for me. Like most artists. I love a lot of artists. I don't feel the need to have to own anything by them, but I still love them. Appreciating artists sometimes and art, for me, anyways, it doesn't automatically coincide with the need to collect. Craven's, that's right, Craven's gravestone, which I believe that, what is it? They're half brothers or step brothers or something like that. Call back to Craven's last hunt. Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah, really, really, really like it. But anyways, yes, okay. Let us keep it going, and we jump on to your next one, Caesar, and that is, this is one of the ones I would have chosen anyway. So, yeah, check it out. Do we even?
Oh, the Sienkiewicz shadow page.
Yeah. Do we need to see this? Yeah, whatever. Beautiful drawing, but who cares about that guy? First of all, right? The ugly older man, but come on.
The wonky leg. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, anyways, yeah, whatever. It's your pick. You talk, man.
No, it's just a great. I mean, the shadow's in the last panel, but it looks like he's on the whole page. I mean,
yeah.
It's a great panel, great page from the shadow by Sienkiewicz.
Yeah, it's just outstanding. And you never see these. You really never see them. Like over the years, they just rarely.
I've never seen one.
Yeah, and I'm actually a little bit upset because I just assumed, because most of Sienkiewicz's stuff is pretty expensive, and because of the fact that these shadow pages never seem to pop up, I just automatically assumed this thing would go for like 5,000 or 6,000 or something, and I was not going to be in the market for that. And then I see it ended $2,880, below $3K. I was like, yeah.
Woo.
I was like,
somebody got a good deal.
Yeah, I would have paid $3,500. I mean, again, obviously, it's not to say that the high bidder wouldn't have gone way higher than that, but I would have at least tried to bid. But I didn't even.
That's hella cheap.
Man, I'm telling you, I didn't even think of bidding, just because I wrote it off.
That's going to be on a dealer website. Trust me.
You think?
Yes, I think so.
Man, I don't know. I hope not, though. I hope not. Nice shadow, yeah, for sure. Painted Electra pages, way more money for sure, Rick. Look at the super long fingers. Yeah, to me,
I mean, like I said, I know the shadow's only in the last panel, but it feels like he's on the whole page. It's like a splash.
Yeah. It's so large too. It's just it's so imposing, and what a great close up of his face and his hands. Like, yeah, man, it's fantastic. What a for these pages to be as rare as they are, and for the one rare once in a blue moon page that turns up, and it's one that has a great money shot. Like, that's pretty shocking, right?
Shocking.
Yeah,
under $3,000. Wow.
And under $3,000, yeah. Like, I would have bid had I had any idea that it wouldn't go for $6,000. Wow. But yeah, that's fantastic. But okay, good. Congratulations to whoever you are who won this. Hopefully it's a collector, but yeah, that's pretty awesome. All right, great pick. And the next one is mine. Oh yeah, love this. I had to do another. I think I did 3 non-Marvel DC pages. And yeah, like independent stuff. I love Steve Rude. Yeah, and I just think he's like one of the most brilliant artists to ever have worked in comics. All the fundamentals of drawing, he has them down pat. I just love this simple, but the camera consistently moving in closer and closer to him, and all the floating heads yelling things, names on the sides. Yeah, all these characters from past issues. Yeah, it's just
it's a good page. I've never read Nexus.
Oh, really?
Never read it. No.
I can tell you, I didn't read a lot of it, But for a little while in the 80s, I did collect it and read it. And I can say, first of all, as a reminder, everyone, I am not a science fiction fan. And it is, like superhero science fiction. And even I really enjoyed it while I read it, So if you like science fiction and superheroes, I would recommend giving it a shot at some point. Yeah, I thought it was really fun. But yeah, I think it's absolutely stunning, stunning page. And because it's not from the original series, this is from Nexus, the newspaper strips trade paperback from 2020. So because of that, you get this gorgeous page for only $2,160, whereas a lot of you guys who follow Rude Nexus stuff, you know that all his panel pages from the original series now are selling for like on the cheap $7,000, on the expensive end $14,000, $15,000. They're going nuts now. So yeah, this is to me, this is fantastic and a great buy for $2,100. Looks like Nexus is all over this page. Indeed, has a very vintage feel for a newer page. Yeah, it does. Yeah, well, I think it's his style. It's got that classic Rude style. That it feels like it could have been from the original 80s series. And you're right, CJ. He can handle any medium and genre. Absolutely. Yeah, sweet page indeed. Yeah, so love it. I wish there were more Steve fan and Nexus and Steve Rude fans out there. But okay, we'll continue to keep this rolling and go to your next pick, Caesar, and that one is my favorite DC villain, next to Cyborg Superman. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So, number 22, for everybody who doesn't know, it's a Deathstroke the Terminator number 22 cover.
I used to own that cover.
Yeah, really?
I used to own it. Traded it. I don't remember what I traded it for, but I traded it.
Oh, wow. Oh, you traded it. Okay.
I didn't sell it. I traded it.
Yeah.
So obviously I got something I wanted more, but
yeah.
Used to be my page. That would have been the only page I would have bid on because I wanted it back.
Oh yeah.
But it went too much.
Okay, but you did watch it just in case?
Yeah, I did watch it.
Oh, okay.
So for $9,000.
Yeah, $9,000 for these now. Wow. I remember when they were like so much more affordable than that. Wow. Oh gosh. Well, you do too, obviously. Yeah.
Obviously, I bought the number 2 for like less than $1,000.
Oh yeah, really? That was you got that back in those days. Wow.
Yeah, I got that back in those days.
Oh man. Oh. Marcus says that you traded it for a painted cover.
I honestly I can't remember what I traded it for. I'm racking my brain and I couldn't think of what it was.
Rick says painted longbow hunters. Wink wink.
No, I didn't trade it for that.
Nah. No.
I'm assuming I got a Jonah Hex cover out of it or 2, but I don't remember.
Yeah, that's a good. I think that's a good guess. I would think that's a good guess. Yeah, because back then you were really hardcore, Jonah Hex collecting, right? So I would say that's a pretty good guess.
I think I'm pretty sure but I don't remember.
What is your obsession tonight, Kavi, with getting multiple Mignola for $2,000 or $200?
No, he wants.
What a job! Everybody do the stroke, yes, sir. Especially when it leads to death. Hey, that's what's his name? Michael Hutchence did the death stroke, didn't he? The lead singer from InXS.
Yes, he did. Yes.
That was the death
stroke. Kavi, I just got an email from what's his name? Matt?
Which
Matt Kennedy. Matt Kennedy.
Matt Kennedy's reaching out to you for what reason?
He's got a Swamp Thing Mignola, an early Swamp Thing Mignola for $25. Make an offer on it.
Mignola Swamp Thing from where? From what?
From his fan days. So it's a.
Oh yeah, one of those early fanzine type illustration thingies.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, there you go.
You can probably get it for $2,000, Cavi.
I'm stroking to the left and stroking to the right. Everybody's stroking tonight. Copy seen it. And Alex says, I think another cover from this same series sold for $40K last year. I think you're right.
That was the Batman one.
And it was that's it. I know there was something really, there's a unique reason for it. That's the one.
Yeah, that was the Batman one.
Yeah, that's a Batman one, yeah.
No, I still got my cover number 2 and some other cover I have. I don't remember the number.
Well, you're lucky. You're lucky to have the number 2 cover. That's a great one too. That's cool. But okay. Let me do my next piece. That's going to be number 12. Oh, yeah. So we go back to the early Bronze Age, first year of the Bronze Age, 1970. Look at this, guys. I mean, the inking is so... I mean, look. It's Colin and Sinnott. And Colin usually had very, I love his stuff, but his anatomy, he was known for wonky anatomy. But here it looks like somebody else drew this. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's just perfect anatomy. There's no wonkiness whatsoever. I don't know what happened here, but it's just wild. But anyways, the point, there's 2 good things I love about this. The shadow work, right? The lighting techniques are just outstanding. But look at this other technique here he did in the first panel. That is a car. So he's here. If you look in the right panel here, he's walking by on the sidewalk. That's a car driving by. So what you see here in the first panel, this is him, his reflection off of the car as it drives by. That's so cool. So cool. Love it. Here, maybe get a better look for you guys. Yeah, I think that is
a cool page.
Yeah, love it.
I would have never pegged it as a colon.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like the anatomy is so not him.
Yeah.
It literally feels like it's somebody else. And I was kind of like, I didn't have time to check it out, but it's the kind of thing that makes me want to go and look at the credits, because not that proves anything, because there have been times where the people in the production department still gave the wrong person credit. Yeah. But I would like to look at the comic at every page, because I want to see if this might actually be like there could be other pages that clearly look like colon, and that would indicate maybe this page somebody chipped in and helped out and didn't get credit for it, So yeah, so who knows? But yeah, check out the lighting. I mean, the brushwork and the shadows. Yeah, I just think that's fantastic, So very, very nice. Yeah, amazing lighting indeed, Rick, for sure. Killer cap. What's this? Gold, silver, Bronze Age stuff. I prefer if they just tell us the decade. He's making fun of you now, Caesar. I think it's a play on that whole quarter of a decade thing.
It's a quarter of a century.
Yeah. Nice page indeed, for sure, Dan. Yeah, absolutely. Beautiful combo. But I am going to check this out after the show. I'm going to have to look into that issue, because I'm really curious now to see if, I like fun stories like that where you might see that, oh shit, it looks like somebody else pitched in, but without credit, Wax on, wax off, the Dean strikes. We'll see if it's him, because I really do have my doubts whether it's him. Either way, the inking is absolutely astonishingly superb. The splash before this was sold too, wasn't it? Was it? Was it from the same issue, Alex? I don't know. I didn't notice if it was the same issue. Might be, though.
Who did the ink on this?
Joe Sinnott.
Oh, Joe Sinnott.
Yeah. Yeah, so... No, I think it's, absolutely beautiful. If only they scanned on a flatbed for this page. Yeah, exactly. But, yeah, gorgeous. All right. Oh, and in case you're interested, everybody, this one sold for $9,600. So just under $10K for these pages now. Wow. Early Bronze Age, 10 grand. Yeah. It's not cheap. Not a lot of affordable stuff anymore, for sure. But yeah, very nice for sure. Absolutely. All right. So let's go to your 12th piece here. Caesar. Oh, yeah. Another Kubert. I love that. Check it out.
Oh, that's a great cover. That's just...
Yeah, 267 of the Unknown Soldier, everybody. And we can hide that now and just sort of zoom in on the main image.
Now, I've never read the Unknown Soldier.
You know what? It's funny. It's funny because I was always a big Sergeant Rock fan, but never read Unknown Soldier.
Never read it, but I just love the way this cover looks. I mean,
yeah, isn't it? It's one of those kooky ones, right? Where like, because when you sent it to me, I'm looking at it, and that was the first time I looked at it closely. I was like, my eye goes to the Unknown Soldier first, and I'm like, what the hell is this? So he's got some weird, almost Nosferatu-looking bald guy, along with like a tiny little person, both attacking him, and then in the foreground, you get like the Nazi version of Uncle Sam.
Right, exactly.
Like, and it's like they're in a circus, and he's talking like he's in a circus. And I really love that the circular cover blurb, right?
Yeah.
He turned it into his word balloon. That's awesome. Right? Ladies and gentlemen, presenting for your entertainment, The Death of the Unknown Soldier. Like, it's so wacky. It's so wacky.
But it's so cool. I mean, I have no love for the Unknown Soldier. I didn't read his stories, but that is just a cool cover. I mean, to me, it's just a cool cover.
Yeah. Yeah. And CJ, indeed. Yeah. Anything Kubert, though, right? Too much hat flair for me. I think it's a MAGA hat, no? Yeah, but no, it is. That's what kind of makes it wacky. Like I said, it's Nazi Uncle Sam, right? Like it's so bizarre with the little guy. It's so weird. Steve says Kubert Senior style. You don't have to say senior. We know with Kubert, it's just Kubert. And with his sons, you can say that you just can refer to them by their first names.
Andy and Adam.
Exactly. So distinctive, and the vibe is like 1920s horror circus. Exactly, Steve. Kubert was so good at cover design. Yeah, absolutely. Elon had to have bought that. Oh boy. What's up, Goo? But yeah, I know. Great choice. Love it. And like I said, it's wacky. Now listen, if I had my druthers, I would, if I'm only going to buy one, I would still sooner buy one that had a larger image of the Unknown Soldier, where like maybe he's facing off with like with a Nazi tank or something, or some Nazi soldiers. I for just having one, yeah, I'd rather have that. But if I'm in the market to just buy one every now and then, yeah, I'd pick something like this off just because of the weird wackiness of it all,
Right. I mean, I thought it was cool. I mean, there was I'm not looking for a Kubert anymore because I got the one I wanted.
Yeah.
But, I like that. That's just, it's offbeat enough for me to like,
Yeah, right. Exactly. No, perfect. Yeah, great choice. I love it. All right. Here we go. We're going to get to, let's see. All right, number 13. So we're getting close to the end, folks. And my next one. Oh, yeah. The guy that I used to hate. The guy whose style I used to despise when this came out. Yeah, because as I've often said, most of my life I was into realism. I just, the closer to realism based on realistic, illustration, realistic looking anatomy, human beings, that's what I liked. So anything that strayed from it, and the more you strayed from it, the more I hated it. I was just so adamant about that. But, over the years, thankfully, I still opened my eyes and gave things like these types of styles a chance, and they grew on me. And when I saw this, I just, wow, this is like, and I love Deadman. But damn, this to me is, wow, superb page. I bought this series. I remember buying this prestige format series, but I don't think I ever bothered to read it. I just kind of was buying a lot of comics back then. But yeah, right now, I'm like, wow, this must be considered a great A or A plus level quality page from this book. I would think. It's got Deadman all over it and really amazing shots of him. I mean, my favorite panel, believe it or not, is this last one here.
Close up of the face.
Just like, because well, it's not the last panel, but the second to last panel, but yeah, just close up. Just love the lighting, the fact that he's crying. I don't know. It's just it smacks you straight in the face with the contrast. And he's got this weird, almost flying pose. I mean, he does kind of like, I guess, gravitate or float or whatever you call it that he does. But yeah, I don't know. I figured, you know what? Given that, I wanted to give it some love because not only I think it's an excellent example, but especially because there was a time when I did despise this type of stuff, And so I guess it's just a good way to kind of show people listening, watching, that if you keep an open mind, it may take many years, but eventually you might sort of learn more and you come to like things that you initially blew off for whatever reason, and you can build a love for it, if you will, I don't know. Is this your kind of thing, or is this way too abstract for you? Is this guy's style?
No, Kelly Jones was great. I thought he was great on Batman. I thought he was great on Deadman. It was a good style for Deadman, I thought.
Yeah.
Really good interpretation of him, I thought. And the inks on this are just fantastic.
Marcus, what do you mean that those are not human beings? Are you telling me you remember the story so well that you know that woman is not a human being? Dan thought about this one. Stanley, likes the great artistic style. I was just buying the comic to impress the goth girls. I can tell you, back in those days, Marcus, where I lived, there weren't really all that many people into the goth scene, and those that were, they were considered kind of losers by everyone else. And it wasn't my scene. I wasn't really attracted to the look, so no, I wasn't trying to impress them. Yeah, the inking alone, yeah. No one picked any cherry Pop-Tart tonight. Nope, you're guessing correctly. I did not, and he did not either. Absolutely great use of blacks. Yeah, deep. Kelly Blue Book price is strong. Yes, to say it out loud, 5,760, everyone. For those of you curious, yeah, I mean, considering it's not Batman, man, that's feels like a lot of money, almost $6,000 for a Deadman page. Wow, it's like it's going up, like often happens. The people that can't afford the Batman stuff, oh well, okay, we'll go on to the next best thing. Okay, his Deadman was cool. Let's get some of that,
Oof.
But that's making these pages go up a lot more as well, So Deadman, you're saying Deadman is not human anymore. But was he ever human? I mean, he was human and then he died. And so, he was only human in the backstory of his origin, right? And as far as we've always known him, he's always been a like a ghost. Steve says, Jones desiccated Deadman. Interesting, but I still believe not as good as Adams. Well, completely different styles. And of course, me, Steve, as a, preferring realism. Adams was definitely my Deadman guy. Having said that, I just love the character. I've always loved my God, the 1985 Garcia Lopez. That was a fantastic series. But I've loved the Deadman by a lot of different artists, actually. And it is hard to get a lot of his art. Yeah, that's true. Hi, Jer. What's happening? You're here. You were here like 8 hours ago, and now you're back. Great page. Jones' Deadman was a crazy reimagining. Yes, sir. Yes. Garcia Lopez. Yes, for sure. All right. Cool. Let me go to the next one. So the 13th pick for you, Caesar. Writes in, holy crap. Let me get in on this one while you talk.
So I picked this Wrightson because to me, that's what this exemplifies what Wrightson to me is. Horror story, creepy little figure with just, great ink work on it. I like this. I mean, look at that little figure. He's just, I don't know who it is, but he's sitting there in the chair. He's creepy as hell.
Yeah,
I mean, that's Wrightson. That should be what Wrightson is, a horror, creepy drawing,
And I love these two skulls at the bottom. One next to him on the book, and one on the floor. I love that.
One on the floor.
Love that. Yeah, I love the chair. You see how the chair legs are like creature legs?
Yeah. And then you got the bookends. It's a lizard or a dragon, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. That's fantastic.
The whole chair with the chicken skulls, I guess.
Yeah. Up there, I was like, what the hell? Sort of like, I don't know, maybe 40% of somebody's skeleton or 35% of somebody's skeleton. That's wild.
It's creepy horror little piece, and it's awesome.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And this one, everybody, sold for $57,600. Yeah. So, mein Gott in Himmel. That's what you would have read in the Sergeant Rock comics. Mein Gott in Himmel. That's what my God in hell meant. For those of you who read those and never understood what they were saying. Wrightson just keeps going up and up. The biggest names, the most classic big names, those are the ones that are going to go highest and continue to go for sure, Hatching Orama Fest. How did he come up with this stuff? By a brilliantly creepy mind. Wonderful, wonderful mind. The master of the macabre, as they called him, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, he loved the horror genre, and that's what he excelled at. So, yeah, this probably would have been my money. Is no object. Oh, my money. Okay, my money is no object. Wish to own piece. Lots of epic superhero stuff, but this is godly. That's quite the praise, Eric Hobby. Yeah, did really well for sure. I'm sure there's upside even at that price. I mean, not immediately, right? But over time. Yeah. That is My God in Heaven. My God in. Sorry. No, yes. Sorry. My mistake, of course. Sorry. Thank you, Hydra. Rodney, what's going on? Joining late since I'm traveling again, but just saying hi, just in time for the writes in. Well, thanks. Glad you could join us, even if only momentarily, man. But that's a spectacular choice, Caesar. So, would this do well next month on Sealing? Tune in 2 weeks from now when Matt Kennedy and I will do our next episode of Stop the Insanity. Macabre is more hell than heaven. Yeah. You could have got this, Hydra. Yeah, you can afford it. We know that. But okay, all right. Enough with the jokes. Let me move on to my 14th piece. And for that, I'm going to show you. Oh, there you go. Yes. I couldn't resist. I was like, I picked that panel page. And then I realized, but this is like one of my favorite Thor covers. It's so classic. I think it's like, for me, it's more nostalgia than anything else. One of my favorite Thor back issues that I always used to see, flipping through back issue bins when I was looking through, Thor for Thor comics. And I just always loved the power in it. Like they're on top of a building. You can see all these other buildings down below. Not realistic looking buildings, sadly. I have to mention that only because, I love Kirby, but again, I really don't like when people overhype any artist and are not willing to admit that, even their favorite artists had certain weaknesses. And in this era, of course, every artist kind of just made up the buildings. They never really looked, all that realistic. I mean, when you compare it to comics of the last 25 years, holy shit. I mean, because they're doing the right thing. They're taking the time to use photographs, so they use it for reference to make the buildings look much more realistic. And I think it's a much better thing. But I always love the Wrecking Crew. And so, to see this single member of the Wrecking Crew, is this guy the Wrecker with the crowbar? And you guys can let me know. The Wrath of the Wrecker. There you go. Yeah. And I just thought it was cool. It's just like I said, always one of my all-time favorite Thor covers. And just really, really fun. A lot of power in it, a lot of energy, as Kirby was wont to do. And apparently apparently Everett also inked the cover, not just the interior. So quite fun. But
it's a great cover. Two powerful figures on top. I don't even know why you're looking at the buildings.
well, Caesar, because I look at everything, my friend. Everything. Obviously, I care more about the figures, but I always have to. I like to be honest about everything, regardless of how much I love an artist. You got to take the good with the bad. There's always something you can learn. But it's a fabulous cover. Oh, and for you curiosity guys, this one sold for $144,000. I mean, where have we gotten to, Caesar, right? Like in the hobby where it literally has become the norm for a lot of covers, not only from a Silver Age or even Bronze Age, but even quite a few 80s covers. Like when covers are going for regularly 6 figures and up, And what's craziest about it is that a lot of these covers, they had come up onto the market before, while you and I were in the hobby already,
Yeah.
And they were selling for a few thousand, It was like, wow. You're like, man, and you think about it, my God, how much this stuff has gone up. It's just, it's pretty insane.
But it's a great cover.
Yeah, it really is fantastic, right? And of course, people seem to love when Everett does inks, even though he hasn't done that a lot, like on Kirby. I don't know if that affects people's desire to bid more. I would say no. It wouldn't make me bid more. But it's nice because it's different from Sinnott or Chick Stone or whoever else, In this case, though, does it matter? Nah, exactly. Whatever. It's fun to critique art.
I think if you were an Everett fan, you'd bid more for it.
Well, but that's what I mean. That's what I mean. I wonder if Everett fans would, think like, okay, a Kirby Thor, I would pay this much, but this one's inked by Everett. I love Everett, so yeah, I'll bid an extra 10 or 20 or 30. You know what I mean? Like, I wonder if they would think that, But yeah, I don't know. Just feel the Wrecker's hands would have been turned down. You are actually right about that, and that's another critique. And I love that, Steve. I love that. That's my whole point. Exactly, because it's true. It's true. He would have, thrown his arms over him from behind. Yes, with his arms downward, not palm up, obviously. So that's also kind of a mistake, if you will, whatever. But very interesting, very lovely cover. Regardless, Coletta would have erased those buildings. Yeah, exactly, Rick. But having said that, I do love Coletta's inking on Kirby on Thor. So I've always said that. And CJ agrees with you, Caesar. Figure forward front. What? Figure forward front? What did you mean by that? Making the buildings more realistic would take away from the figures. Nah, I mean, that's just how it was done in those days, though, right, Marcus? I mean, even less blocky styled artists than Kirby still kind of drew, buildings that way well into the 70s, even the 80s, Although these are, I don't know, maybe the story has something to do with them. because these are out of the norm wacky buildings. Like they almost look like high tech. You know what I mean? Like, so it could be a story thing for all we know, you know? Makes us all sick for not buying them back then, right? Exactly. You just, that's right. Exactly. You can't think about it. Because let's say bottom line is you would have bought him if you had the chance back then and you didn't, right? You didn't. So it doesn't really matter. If hands down, he'd have to move the elbows out. Might have ruined the composition. It's possible. Yeah. You never know what he was thinking, so you're one of those, the non-Vinny lovers on Thor. Okay. Yeah. Look, he's got detractors as well as lovers on Thor. So the colorist would have just grayed them out. It's very true. Figure forward. Right. All right. Thank you. All right. So excellent. So we get the next piece here, and it's Caesar's 14th. And this is, a rare Marvel piece by you, Caesar. 48,000 for those of you who are wondering. 48,000, 1988, from the first issue of the Wolverine ongoing miniseries. Let's check this out.
Is it the first issue?
Yeah, it's first issue.
Oh, all right.
Oh, you didn't know? Wow.
I did not know that.
Oh, yeah.
So, cool. I mean, come on. It's Buscema. It's a Wolverine. Who didn't read that #1 Wolverine? I read it. I bought it. I read it. It's got great nostalgia for me.
Yeah.
And it's a ferocious looking Wolverine.
What do you think of the Al Williamson inks?
I think they look great on Buscema. I mean, that whole figure just looks awesome.
Yeah, I love the fact that he did a wide variety of things with the inks. Like if you look on the figure, just on the figure alone, forget the background, right? Like here where you see me swirling my pointer, right? Like this type of cross hatching on the right thigh, right? That's beautiful. And that's one technique, right? Then on this other thigh, it's just straight parallel lines, right?
Parallel lines.
And then you go onto the pectorals of his chest, and suddenly it's not only dry brush vertical lines, but right on top of that, he goes back to the regular ink cross hatching in different patterns. It's just like different all over the place,
The face and the hair.
And the face, yeah. I love the brush work on the hair and the face. Yeah. It's really, really cool.
Look at those eyebrows.
Yeah, it's really cool. Let me jump in and see if you guys are commenting about this. And look at that. Hyder. We got a hater. I'm sorry. I really don't like this piece. I hate the face. Okay. Just missed this when Mitch originally sold it. Okay. Let me get to the bottom of the comments, Rick, and then I'm going to bring something up. I'm curious if you guys remember. Wolverine looks like some old barfly I encountered in Chicago. Inks are great. CJ, yeah, I love it. Williamson. Barfly is perfect.
It is.
Steve says, obviously Buscema Splash, but I don't like the face. Wow, a lot of face haters. And the posture either. Wow. Although well done, it doesn't radiate Wolverine. Well, but it's not Wolverine. It's Logan. I mean, I always felt like when he didn't have the mask and he didn't wear his traditional costume, to me, I differentiated. To me, it's okay. Now you're just being Logan. You're not Wolverine, true Wolverine, but too much like a villain, right? Okay. Yeah, we all see, what we see from it, right? Al was amazing. I think so, for sure. Absolutely. This book was super hyped. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Goo. Patch. Logan or Patch, whatever, but I still feel it's the same. But Patch was even worse for me. I hated that stupid Patch and that idiotic suit that he wore. Ugh, I hated all that. I was so disappointed in this series to find out, oh my God, they're putting out a regular ongoing Wolverine series, and only to find out that, especially after that Miller one with Japan and ninjas, and to see that they were going to go with, I'm going to put him in Madripoor, this fake city that doesn't exist, and he's going to be this guy named Patch who wears a patch, who still looks like Logan, but somehow nobody recognizes him. Exactly. I was just like, this series sucks, you know? Yeah, like, I don't know. I just thought it was a bad choice. And, you know, they knew it would sell no matter what it was about because it was Wolverine, obviously, and Claremont, whatever. But yeah, to me as a fan, I wasn't drinking the Kool-Aid. I mean, I bought it and read it, but I was not going to drink the Kool-Aid and say that, oh yeah, the Wolverine series, awesome. Nah, I thought it was crap. But whatever. What are you going to do, you know? Looks like the little Wolby from Deadpool 3. I didn't see that one, Marcus, so I don't know what you're talking about. I'll have to catch it though. Cain and Abel hair and beard style. What the hell do you mean I'm cut off? I like it from nostalgic for comic, but the face isn't my favorite. Yeah, a lot of people are hating the face. The Who Farted look. Nice. All right, so the quick story I just wanted to ask you guys. Do any of you remember this? Because somebody mentioned Mitch. But and I'm asking this because I'm wondering now if it was just my imagination, like is my memory faulty? Does anybody remember this actually hitting the auction block before this weekend? How about you, Caesar?
I thought it did once.
Okay, so this is my memory. Anybody, please tell me if you remember this, how it happened. My memory is that this popped up at an auction. I don't actually have a visual in my head of what auction it would have been. But my memory is it showed up and it didn't actually have a title. Like whoever was selling it didn't know that this was the Splash from Wolverine #1. And it ended up selling for $7,500. That's what I remember, $7,500. And I remember being like, yeah, that's Wolvie #1. That's the Wolvie #1 Splash. Why do they not write that? And I remember thinking $7,500 at the time and thinking like, oh, this thing would be for sure 15 grand, easy, 15 to 18 at the time. I don't know. Does anybody, is my memory kind of screwed? Or is it just that, was it Mitch who sold it for $7,500? I don't know, man. Can anybody tell me? Because I don't know. What do you remember about this? Anything? And any memories at all, Caesar?
I thought I seen it before at auction. I don't know.
Yeah? You too, right? Okay. All right. So at least it's two of us. You know, I'm waiting for other people. Nobody's chiming in, man, even though I talked for like 30 seconds. Nobody has anything to say about that. Maybe they don't remember, though. If you say so. I'm not telling you, I'm asking you. Okay. All right, well, whatever. I don't know. Maybe there's a longer delay in comments or that nobody really knows. Marcus should know. Yeah, you would think so. I don't know anything about this page's past sales. Okay. Well, I appreciate you chiming in at least, Kavi. But okay, we'll keep it going. And let me see. So we're gonna go now. So this was Caesar's selection. You don't remember an auction. Mitch listed it and it sold fast. But do you remember the price he sold it for and what year that was, Rick? I'm curious how long you're talking about. I'm thinking in terms of the auction, for me, my gut feeling is that it was something kind of like back in the, I want to say 2016, 17, maybe. Something like that. Something in that era. Yeah. Oh, look at that. Ooh. 7,500 sounds right around 2017. Interesting. Any idea, any memories as to which auction house might it have been? Is it possible it was one of those shitty ones like that nobody really kind of, knows very well, that they have to use? They don't have their own website, so they have to use Invaluable or whatever those things are called. Yeah. But yeah, exactly, Tom. Exactly. Fantastic. And that's what I'm saying. It was a bargain even when it went for 7,500. I said it was half price at that time. So look, now you hold it for about 8 years, and there you go. You're holy shit. You're making 5 times your money or whatever. So well, yeah, that's what somebody said. It was on Mitch's, which is, oh, are you saying for 7,500 it was on Mitch's site? Is that what you're trying to say?
That's what he's saying.
Oh, I see. Oh, you think it was 7,500 on Mitch's website? Okay, who knows? Maybe, yeah, maybe it was Mitch. But I still remember, like, it was listed with nobody, with whoever was selling it, they didn't know what it was. And I thought that was so crazy. I was like, how do you not know it's the Splash from Wolverine 1? Now, I guess it could have been Mitch, but all right. Anyways, we'll keep it going. Interesting to talk about. Yeah, whoever sold it made some good coin here, so good props to them. All right. So that was your selection, Caesar, 14. So we'll go to my 15th one. And I chose. Oh, yeah. Awesome. Okay, so you guys know I grew up loving X-Men and Teen Titans, and I love George's work. And what can I say? I mean, at the time, these colored covers, I mean, they were so rare. It was so rare to see regular mainstream superhero Marvel and DC covers that looked like they were painted. To be clear, this is just colored in. It's not considered a painting, even though people call it painting. It's not a painting. When it's an illustration with pencil and ink, it's an illustration that's colored. Okay, it's a colored illustration. It's incorrect to call it painting. But anyways, but yeah, published, they looked so good. You know, I just thought they were so different. I gotta say, it still looks pretty okay. The color, but I would still wish it wasn't colored on the original, especially as you go down and you see this raspberry color here and the brown for the floor, because it literally looks like these two colors literally look like he asked a little kid to use their Crayolas, wax crayons, and fill them in, you know? So I don't like that look. But yeah, I love the design. I mean, the drawing is fantastic. Pencil and ink by George. So it's great pencils and inks, even though you can't really appreciate it all that much with the color. But the idea that he's up against a full mirrored wall, and so we're seeing it from Donna Troy's point of view, and she's confronting him, and she's mad as hell, and he's all beat up. I mean, I don't know, man. This is classic. Caesar, were you collecting this at the time?
What issue is that? No, I wasn't.
This is number 15 of the Baxter.
I didn't
no,
start
19
I didn't
of the
start
Baxter.
Teen Titans till probably somewhere in their 30s, and I went backwards.
Sorry, say it again?
So I didn't start Teen Titans until they were in their probably issue 30 or something.
You only started Titans? 30s of the Baxter series?
Yeah, 30 of the Baxter and went backwards. Yeah.
Oh, no kidding. Okay. All right.
So whatever the crossover was with Infinity Inc. is when I started reading Teen Titans.
Oh, okay. Hey, that's cool, right? Because you were an Infinity Inc. fan, and that's what you got you to try out the Titans, right?
Right, the crossover. So that's when I started reading the Teen Titans.
Yeah. Perez was doing this for the Baxter. Yes, that's what I said. It went cheaper than when it was offered to me a few years ago. Really? Interesting. Okay. Yes, for those of you who are curious, it sold for $16,200. Sean, let us know out of curiosity, how much was it offered to you for?
Probably 20.
Tom, you weren't into the Baxter series? Well, I bet you can admit that you probably weren't into it because George left after 5 issues, and that's why. It was more about George no longer being the artist. Can you admit that? Antoine, what's up, buddy? You're always coming in late these days, close to the end. How's it going? Regardless of color, I would take it. Oh, me too, Dan. I mean, I still love it. But again, I still would not. I'm not in the market to want to pay that kind of money for these things anymore. So, not thick in the dirt. Yes, this was Nightwing after Corey got married to someone else. Oh, yes. Nightwing's taint is well rendered. Nice, Antoine. Nightwing was feeling sorry for himself. Yes. He often did when he was on the outs with Corey, right? As long as George colored it as part of his artistic impulse, it is rare. If anyone else colors over his black and white, that would be a big diminishment of the piece. Yeah, no, it's still fun. Like I said, it's still fun. I still like it. It's just my preferences for black and white anytime I can, right? Anytime I can get it. My first issue of Titans was 3. So if anyone has a page from it, let me know. Look at him trying to wheel and deal in the chat. Someone wanted $30K. Wow, that I would have told you at the time. That was crazy also. Countered to 25. Who, him or you? God, I hope it wasn't you. But it wasn't an issue I bought off the stands. Okay, he dropped it to 25. I got it. Yeah, no. He was trying to rook you on that. I don't know who it was, so at least
so he was probably disappointed in the sale then.
Oh, can you imagine? Because that's 16K, but he's only going to get about 12 or 13, right, in his pocket. So, yeah, that's it. Yeah, you don't mind the color and doses, exactly, Kavi. I'm here with you on that. Loved early Titans Baxter series, just felt off at the time. All right. Plus, it cost more. That's true. It was tough for all of us to buy those, us teenagers, right? If I bought it, I would have had Bob recolor it. I'm kidding. You better be kidding. Unless it's as long as it's on another board, that's okay. I'm okay with that.
He can fix the coloring. He can fix the coloring.
Yeah, that's right. All right. Okay, so this was number 15, right? So your 15th piece is I don't remember anywhere. Oh, yeah. Yeah, not let me just, before you talk, I just wanted to say, I mean, I think everybody would agree, not the best page in terms of content quality, but they're so rare, these pages, that, it's just exciting to see no matter what. But anyways, yeah, go ahead and say whatever you want to say.
Who didn't read the X-Men Titans crossover? Walt Simonson. I mean, you're right, it's not the best content, but it's got all the Titans on it.
I love Corey's close up of her face. I love that here, right here.
I mean,
I love that.
And then what are they? Parademons coming in at the at the last panel. That's a great panel.
Yeah, Parademons. Yeah. I like the Austin inking. I thought he did a fine job keeping it looking very Walt Simonson-ish.
Yeah.
But I thought, yeah, great stuff. But I assume though that this was not one of the ones that you picked up. You didn't pick this up off the stand in 80. What is it? 82 or 83?
No, I wouldn't have picked it up off the stand. No.
Back issue for you, right?
It's a back issue buy.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. Let me see. What you guys. Anybody saying anything about this? Yeah, that's a very good point. Also, Marcus, there's no X-Men on it. There's only Titans on this one. And for the curious among you, this one was $17,400. So can you imagine what this would sell for? A page like this, but even if it had maybe a few, 2 or 3 X-Men,
like 2 X-Men on it.
And especially if it was Wolverine in one panel, or you know what I mean? Like, man, just the Titans alone, 17 grand plus. So yeah, I mean, wow, that's how rare these things are, Laying down the boom, yeah. Terry didn't overpower it, exactly. Added a bunch of did that right, exactly. Very unlike him. Yeah. Terry kissed and missed. Yeah, exactly. 17, just over 17K. Very, yeah. It's a lot of money, yeah. But a lot of it has to do with the rarity, though, Kavi, because these pages just, we know 2/3 of this book is all in Walt Simonson's collection, right? And it just so happens that Austin is also one of those guys who, for most of his career, not all, for most of his career, decided to keep his art. So the majority of this book is actually still owned by both the penciler and the inker. So that's pretty crazy. Yeah. Very awesome read at the time. Yeah, absolutely. Haven't read it since then, Tom. I think I need to read it and see how it reads today, all these years later, But yeah, great cover. Great cover. Okay. And so we'll go to my next one, and mine is the second, I think it's the second to last. It's the 16th piece here, guys. And it is, oh yeah. Okay, so you guys know for several years, back in the late 90s into the mid 2000s, I was an Incredible Hulk collector. A secret Incredible Hulk art collector. Nobody really knew. I kept it, other than a handful of people, I kept it quiet so I wouldn't, help drive up prices, blah, blah, blah. This is, I wanted to get at least, one cover from all of the artists who worked on the title during, my collecting years. Obviously, I wanted to get one of these guys. To this day, I still don't know if it's Purvis, Pervs. Don't know how to say his name. Sorry, Jeff. But as a Hulk fan, you grow up a Hulk fan, you grow up a Thing fan. As a fan of Thing Hulk, you grow up as a fan of Hulk Thing battles. Anytime they can battle, right? If you're a Thing fan, it's probably because you're an FF fan, and if you're an FF fan, you're probably a Doom fan. I mean, so this has it all. It's one of those classic old-time boxing poster layouts, right? This guy against that guy. And Dr. Doom is the ref. And with absolutely gorgeous inking by Terry Austin again. And so just really, really always loved this. I really, really enjoyed this particular issue for the reasons I just said. And so it's very much a nostalgic piece, but also the inking really, really helps the cover. And I really think that the cover is quite outstanding. So let's see what you guys have to say. A Meeting of the Minds. Thing Tank. Oh, I love that one. That's clever. Can you tell me that Purvis pronunciation, Marcus? Can you tell me that this is something you have confirmed yourself? Have you heard him say that, or somebody asked him, or you asked him? I'm just curious. Not that I doubt you, but I people sometimes tell me pronunciations and they make it sound like they know for a fact, but then I found out later, no, they were just assuming, Kirby. There's Austin, adding the details. Sarah was cool. Anybody who read it remembers. Great stories by Peter David. Was it still Peter David? I believe so. Purveyor of art, getting clever again. Badass issue indeed. Face Off indeed. Doom fan here. You've never seen this cover, Steve? Wow. And Austin Innings. Yeah, this must be so exciting for you to be seeing for the first time. But why is Hulk's head a little smaller than the Thing's? Isn't he bigger? Yeah, it's all, stuff like that can be based on artist interpretation. So you can't really sort of complain about that. It's just how the artist interprets it. So there's room for, for error there, or size differences, if you will, So Marcus, you heard Dealer. Oh my God. Of all people in this hobby who I wouldn't trust on how a certain artist's name is pronounced, it would be the Dealers. They're like the worst. They care the least out of all of us about stuff like that, those kinds of details. So all right. So still don't know how it's pronounced. I'll have to figure it out someday. Gray Hulk, yes sir. LOL. All right. So very, very cool. And exactly, that's my point, Tom. It's that nobody knows. So you got people thinking Purvis, right? That's why. And that's why it'd be nice to finally know once and for all. So Steve B&G, we're going to go to the next one. But since it's the first time you've seen it, let me just zoom out and you can see the whole thing in its entirety one last time for a couple of seconds. Yeah, man, pick it up for yourself if you can. The comic book, track it down. It's a great one.
What did it sell for?
What's that, Caesar?
What did it sell for?
Oh yeah. And so this one was $39,600. So it's not a lot of people who can collect these. And again, Caesar, it's like I was saying earlier. Remember when forget 1970, forget all the 70s, forget the 80s. This is late 80s, This is, I think, 88, right? 88. And mainstream Marvel comic, non-mutant related. You're dishing out multiple tens of thousands in order to get a cover.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, it's just, yeah, man, it's wild. It's really, it's a shame, right? Because we'd love to still be able to occasionally pick up a piece like this here and there, you know? You think, you really think the SS silent, Kavi? Wow. Pervia? Wow. Purvey? Man. I have to try to track him down. I know he's out there. He's actually even on he has a gallery on CAF. So yeah, absolutely, Steve, my pleasure. You really want to do a deal for Pervy art? Yeah, you just like the troll, yeah. When I go into pronunciation. I know. All right. Let us go to the next one. We're almost at the end of the show, folks. I think 2 or 3 pieces tops left. Yeah, you laugh it up, Kavi, while I go on to the next piece. The 16th and I believe final piece from your selections, I believe, on this one, Caesar. And don't say it, but have you forgotten what it is, or this one do you remember?
No, I mean, I know what it is.
Oh, you know it. Okay, for this one,
I know
you
what
can.
it is.
Yeah. This one you can't forget, obviously.
Save the best for last. You probably did.
See, you've watched long enough to know that that's what I typically try to do, right? So, I knew I wouldn't be able to put it past you, but all right, let's check it out. I'm gonna have a couple of scans, everyone.
Well, I want to know, was this on your list?
Well, it would have been. Yeah, it would have been. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it was, and then yes, it was. So obviously, I just was okay, whatever. I'll let you have it. And so I'm happy to let you have it because of the fact that, hey, for you to pick Marvel stuff, I'm just happy for that. You know what I mean? Like, season picking Marvel, I'll let him have it. Let him have it. No problem. Yeah, so here it is, everybody. Check this out. Yeah. So let's get this out of the way right away. $240,000. So as Caesar loves when I do this, almost $250,000, everybody. Almost $250,000. Just 10 grand short. 240,000. Absolutely astonishing. So I wanted to show you guys this scan first, because this is the only scan without the background in the sky here. It's the only scan that looks clear and sharp. Okay, so we can see everything. All the New Mutants characters here. There's Karma when she was like an obese, whatever. I don't even remember why she was obese. I read it but I don't remember why. And then, yeah, Austin inking as well. So that was really cool. For me, though, I got to say, the draw to this cover, what stood out the most, for obvious reasons, was always Warlock. Because he's the only one who's got solid blacks, apart from Roberto here, and he's kind of front and center, obviously, right? But I always also love the fact that Cannonball was blasting through the logo, So that was always fun. And I love him as a character. I love when he's using his blasting cannonball powers. So it's sad for me to see him that small, but it's still cool to see him going through the logo. So that's really neat. Yeah, Warlock is fantastic. And of course, the Magic figure, really, really super cool. Yeah, let me pull out for a long shot. And no long shot is not here. But yeah, so this is obviously because they had to do an overlay. The backgrounds were done on an overlay. So let's take a look at the overlay. And not as nice with the original art, only because it doesn't line up well. And you'll see it looks like it's, just not lined up well. Okay, it's cool when you do that and you see all the black come in at the top, but you can see how the overlay ends up looking blurry. Here. Here we go. Like Storm in particular, and of course the what's her face? Enchantress. But really the whole thing. It's a shame. It's a shame because if you're paying that much money and you're putting it on display on your wall or in a large portfolio, it's kind of shame that to have to look at it and see that a large portion of it is all blurry, But beautiful, yeah, really, really beautiful. I love that storm. Oh, so good. And yeah, all black outer space looking background. But yeah, you tell us, man. I don't know why the hell am I talking about it.
Well, what's there to say? It's a classic Art Adams New Mutant special. Everybody and their grandma read that book.
Yeah. I would say so. I mean,
if you were reading comics at any time during that point, you read that book.
That is true. And especially if you had bought, Long Shot the year before, and you were already like, oh yeah, this new Art Adams guy is so good. Oh my God. You probably were picking up anything that he did at that point,
Yeah.
You were like, wow, this Art Adams guy is he's amazing. Oh yeah. I remember after Long Shot thinking, or during Long Shot thinking like, oh my God, this guy, they need to put this guy in X. If they put this guy as the X-Men artist, he's going to be the next John Byrne, Yeah. And I mean, he did sort of get, those levels of sort of respect and popularity, but not in the same way, simply because he never became he was never a monthly artist, right? That's the sad
monthly artist, right?
That's it. That's always the sad thing that'll always remain kind of for me, it's a negative that's attached to his name. It's the fact that we could never enjoy a monthly book by him, and it was just kind of special projects here and there. Yeah, a shame, because just beautiful stuff all the time, right? Must be Art Adams. You got it. Boom, indeed. No way. Wow. How did you miss this, Sean? What do you mean you didn't see that? Wow.
You didn't see it in the auction?
Yeah, how did you not see that? And let me go back to the other one, because no offense, but the blurriness is killing me. Let me leave it here. And yeah, it's awesome. Exactly. You would pay $2,000 to just cut out the Warlock for yourself.
So I didn't really look into the auction. Was that scan in the auction?
Yeah.
But that wasn't the one they used to.
Well, they were both there. I don't remember
they were both there, but the one that showed on screen was the one with the overlay, right?
Oh, the one with the overlay. I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, they would have been better off showing it like that.
Yeah, I think so. Hell of a piece, absolutely. So beautiful and badass. Yeah, sick. Exactly. Big down payment on a house, and in some places on this continent, still a house. I mean, yeah, that's wild, man. In my top five favorite comics of all time. Wow, that's wild. It's 2 scores old and $250 million. I knew somebody was going to say the let me pull out. I knew it. Yeah, Storm looks very pretty. Yeah, I love how Storm looks on it. They were events, exactly. Yeah, because of the fact that he didn't do regular stuff, right? So every time he did it, the big Art Adams event, Like I said, B&G, I can't say for absolute certainty, okay, because I never held them in person. But when you see that type of blurriness, usually it's because there's 2 overlays, right? So they put some of the art, like maybe the solid black background nighttime inks on one, and then they did the line art for the characters on the other, and they lined them up, and they lined it up in a crooked, like, I don't know, like, it's just typically it has to do with 2 overlays. But who knows? It could have been some weird glitch with the camera as it took the picture. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'd have to see it in person, and then I could probably figure out why it looks that way. That New Mutant Special Edition and X-Men Annual were the best of the best. Yeah, they certainly were at that time. Yeah, absolutely. And what's amazing is that Art Adams is more meticulous today than ever. Yeah, he's amazing for sure. Absolutely. So anyways, all right. let's keep it rolling, folks. And so yeah, that was the ultimate piece for you, Caesar. Thank you very much. These are great choices. And for me, I guess I've got, is it one or two here? Let me see. I've got, oh yeah, see, so I've got, so that was your 16th piece. This, oh, maybe it's just one more for me. Yeah, okay, one more for me. All right, so, yeah, my final piece, you guys have technically already seen it. And that is this one. Oh, sorry, this one. All right, because I used it for the thumbnail of tonight's episode. I mean, look, first, aesthetically, I have always adored this, especially in black and white. I mean, the lighting technique is outstanding, outstandingly beautiful. It always has been. To this day, it still blows my mind. Beautiful. So beautiful. Even though the main character of Swamp Thing, even though it's like a side view, kind of from the rear, most of the time we like to see, more from the front. I think it makes it so dramatic because his body in shadow that way, it kind of creates a frame for what's his face, right? And it really makes your eye go to him, who's all lit up. And it makes you feel the power of the terror that he is feeling in that moment. So it's beautifully executed. So the idea and the execution as a whole, I just have always found astounding. And aside from that, moving from that, I mean, obviously I don't have to say it. You guys know that this is all about, I mean, this is where it all began, right? One of the, if not the best writer that comic books has ever been graced with. Certainly the most famous writer in terms of, following, other than, let's say, Stan Lee, for instance. Revered, the way that they revere Alan Moore for whatever he would do, whereas you could say, well, Claremont was really popular. But yeah, Claremont was popular because the characters and the stories for the first several years in X-Men were really good. Right? But nobody really talks about anything or most anything else that Claremont wrote. It's always just X-Men. But with Alan Moore, it's like almost everything he writes, there's always lovers of it. And this is where it all began. I mean, yes, whatever. He wrote number 20 as well, but we all know he was just wrapping up a storyline. This issue is where he began with the brand new origin for the Swamp Thing. And it was brilliantly executed in the way he wrote it. And yeah, I mean, I gotta say, guys, and this is kind of why I also wanted to talk to you here. Let me leave you with the close-up like this, and then let me go so I can jump in and see what you guys are saying. Let me see. Iconic cover. Okay, so it starts with Rick. Yeah, so I wanted to say, so for those of you who don't know, and I guess there's probably a lot of you, maybe all of you, I don't know. This cover was consigned by a guy who was not a comic art collector. So it was consigned by a guy who was a comic book reader and fan his whole life. And he had acquired this, among other pages, okay, back in 1984, when Tom Yeats was making an appearance at the store he shopped and worked at. I believe he worked at. And so, like people were wont to do sometimes in those days, if they had money, he decided, I'll buy some of these, the original covers. Why not? Original, and he bought some panel pages and whatever. So this did not lead into him becoming an art collector. So he only owned a handful or two of total pieces of art, all of which I believe he told me he consigned to this auction this weekend. So he got this from Yeats for I don't know the price. I believe it's less than $100 though. 41 years ago. So that was a lot of fun, and he had posted it on Facebook, and I immediately, when I saw it on Facebook, I immediately contacted him because I knew people were going to try to rip him off. And some of those people are probably watching this or maybe watching it on Rewind and hating me right now. But he did tell me, because I said, let me guess. You don't have to tell me, but you've already had people offering you between this and this amount. And he said, oh yeah, several. Like, okay. I said, well, to me, this is $250,000 to $500,000 piece. However, I said it would have to be at Heritage. You'd have to be willing to consign it to them. I also told them how to discuss getting a deal on the fees. And I said you would, to get that kind of money, you would also likely, I don't know if I actually mentioned this part to him, or this is just kind of, I was thinking it in my head, but I definitely in my head, I knew he would have to probably ask them, hey, give me the cover for this on the catalog. Yeah, because if you put this on the catalog, on the cover, and you know how the salespeople at Heritage work. I mean, they've got their regular, high-end customers who are just investor types and, long-term hold people. Some of them who know about this stuff, some of them who don't know about this stuff, but they will call these people. They will get in touch with these people and say, hey, we got these pieces coming up in the next auction. I really think you should consider blah, 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 right? So I really believe that if you had put this one on the cover, I do believe that if you put this on the cover and you hype this up to all your, high net worth individual customers, absolutely think that this could have gone. And I told him $250,000 to $500,000. And I even said, I think if that happened, if they talked it up and they put it on the cover of the catalog, I believe it could even have gone for even more than $500,000. But ultimately, to me, it was disappointing. It didn't get the cover, obviously. And so I don't think it was hyped up nearly enough what it deserves to be for its importance, especially on the importance. I mean, it's beautiful, but really the money you're paying is for the importance of what it represents, right? And so, to me, it was disappointing that it didn't even hit the low end of my estimate, but it sold for $192,000. Still a beautiful amount of money for the consigner, especially, since it's all profit. But I did want to say, Caesar, and to everybody else, what do you guys think? What would you guys have thought this might have sold for? Any guesses?
Well, hindsight's 2020, but 200.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, so who said? Somebody said it was an iconic cover. It is an iconic cover. It's
for sure.
For
sure. I mean, it's incredibly beautiful, and it really is. It represents the beginning of everything for just how comics could be written. Everything that it represents is so important. I mean, it was this, and then a short stint on The Amazing Miracle Man, which never got as much attention. But then it led to Watchmen, which is considered the best thing of all time by so many people. I mean, this launched it all, really. So I said that. I said that, Marcus. So to me, this is it really. I think this was undersold. I think they kind of did a disservice to this piece, not only to the consignor, but I think to themselves. I think they really could have pumped this up a lot more and gotten more for it. You didn't even think it would reach 200K, really, Kavi? Wow. Yeah, the anatomy lesson, man. Sure, Halpern was buying up the Swamp Thing stuff. He's been going for it lately. Yeah, who knows? I mean, considering some of the things that he's gotten, this is definitely easily affordable. So could be his. This is not the original Moore run, is it? Of course it is. What do you mean? Of course it is. Thank you. Yes, it's his second issue, but it's the first issue where he redoes the Swamp Thing's origin. He recreates the origin, and that's where the whole run begins. Oh shit, this is Tom Yeats. Not you thought it was Bernie Wright? Oh my gosh. Antoine, come on, man, get with the program. No, like I said, I believe he was an employee at the store, Marcus. Attaboy, I've done something similar with advice to art owners. Oh, about telling him. Yeah. No, for sure. I've been doing that for many, many years. And I'm proud to say that I saved people from giving away their art for nothing on a few occasions, and they were really thankful for it. And yeah, I mean, like, I don't like to get. Thanks, CJ. I don't want to. Yeah, man, I don't. It's not fair. How would you feel if it happened to you? You know, imagine if you let somebody take advantage of you like that on purpose, right? And then later you found out that they took advantage, right? So yeah, that would be horrible. Interesting. So only 150 for like the first issue of what really represents the everything that we know about Alan Moore. His entire career starts here, really. His popularity and everything. Man, you guys are way lower than me, but okay. I thought it would be 150. Interesting. Wow. When I seen this, I figured to get close to 5. Okay, so I got one guy going closer to me, but there seems to be more thinking that it would be lower. Not Cayman, why a million? There's so much competition in this auction. Yeah, true, but come on, Tom. There's more than enough money out there by the money people to have paid 500. Like, come on, there's people out there in this hobby that have been absorbing very expensive items that undoubtedly, if Heritage have taught this up to their clients, their high net worth clients, and told them that, yeah, this thing's easy, worth $500,000. There's no doubt that the money was out there to be bought. This result to me, like I say, is I think it absolutely could have gone higher. Not that it's not a lot of money, right? But I do feel that it wasn't advertised enough. I don't think it was promoted enough. Especially the fact that it's never been seen before. On top of everything else, it's the original owner who had it from back in '84. So yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do? I hope I just hope that the consignor is not disappointed, because maybe he had that 250 to 500 number I gave him. I hope he didn't have that sort of his heart set on that so much that he's disappointed now. I hope not, but anyways, so popular when it came out, even Nova Street. No, exactly. It's iconic and really well done. You see Horrorfield, but it doesn't have a lot of content, and Swamp in the Shadows. Think value makes sense. Yeah. We can all see it the way we see it, I suppose, Steve. I didn't realize books are 75 cents. Tonight, you're not realizing a lot of things, Antoine. You're not realizing that this was not Bernie Wrightson. Oh, man. Did they use the term new to market? No, you mean fresh to market. That's the term. And I don't know that they use it or not, Mike. I really don't know. But anyhow, let me come back to you by getting, let me see. Sorry. Stopping the screen share. All right. And there we go, everybody, man. So I don't know. That was fun for me, man. That was a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was a good look at a lot of the things that we saw. And what I like, what I kind of like about doing this is the fact that, at first doing it like on the same weekend, I thought, well, if we do it like this, I'm like, do people care really? Because they probably would have, they're already seeing this stuff as they're looking through the auction throughout the weekend, right? But then I thought, well, sometimes I feel like when I'm looking through all the lots, because there's so many lots, and I'm kind of scanning quickly to see stuff that, and I just scan the thumbnails, right? I only click on the ones that I'm interested in. And so, so I think like maybe more people are kind of like me, where you're looking at hundreds of pieces, and because you're scrolling and you're seeing, you're going down the list, and you're just seeing these little images, right? And you're kind of quickly scanning them, scanning the title, and you're only hitting the track button on the ones you want. You quickly forget about some of the stuff, and perhaps even not even really notice what you're kind of passing by without tracking. And I thought, yeah, so we're only showing 30 pieces. Of course, some of them are, and maybe some of you remember all of them. But I think everybody, because not everybody's interested in everything, like Corey earlier with, I'm not really a fan of that Giffen Dr. Fate page or whatever. So a guy like him, I would think that even if he took a gander and looked through the lots, he's the guy who probably would never have even noticed the Giffen page. You know what I mean? Because it's just not something that would catch his attention, So that's why I feel like, even though it's the same weekend as the actual auction, I don't know. I think it's still cool. I think there's probably people that are still saw things here tonight that are, don't remember seeing them, like Sean. Was it Sean? Was it Sean who said?
Oh, we didn't see the New Mutants page.
Oh, the New Mutants. Yeah, right. Exactly. How do you not see that? That's crazy. So yeah. So that's basically it. Kavi says, nice pick, fellas. Thanks for the chat. Thank you, Kavi, for hanging out with us. Longest OA day for me since OAX with ArtCon, HA, and Ruben Caesar. Have a good one, man. Have a good rest. Keep doing this sort of show. I'm learning a lot. See, I don't know when you guys are facetious or serious. That's what happens when you guys joke around too much. See, I start doubting when it sounds serious. I doubt it at all times because you guys joke around too much. If you're being serious, then we both thank you. I can say I think it's fair enough to say we thank you, Sean, and appreciate it. But if you're joking, well, you can F off. Well done, fellas, and have a great week. Thank you, Jeff. Likewise. Same to you, man. Thank you for being here. Right, fun show tonight. Change it up every week so it stays fresh. I'm trying, man. I'm trying. Oh, and I forgot, you guys. I know people are dropping off real quick. Next week, here, hold on. Let me only three more comments. The Redondo Swamp Thing and Sienkiewicz Shadow seemed like steals. Fun show. Awesome. Thanks, Rick. And yeah, I don't know if Redondo felt like a steal to me. I feel like that's the right price, but definitely the Shadow felt like a steal to me. And when I saw it, I couldn't believe it. I was like, I should have watched it, but whatever. What are you going to do, Thank you. You're being serious. I'm learning a lot about the lots. Okay, good. Okay, excellent. Thank you. Sean is being funny. He's the holder of the soul. Okay, whatever. All right. So yeah, please, next week, you guys. I never expected it to happen so quick, but I'm happy to report that somebody reached out. A couple of people reached out, and
commission show.
Yeah, exactly. And so I figured, okay, maybe for the last Sunday of April, because we had just done one. But all three guys, I ended up getting three guys, because two guys reached out, and then I went out and asked another guy. I think it's going to be a great show, you guys. Even if you're not into commissions, don't forget, I don't collect commissions. I think it's going to be fascinating. The talk is going to be fascinating. I'll tell you right now. So one guy I had a couple of months ago, so you'll know it's Stingray. Okay. So Stingray's back. Newell, for those of you who don't know his fake online name, the Stingray collector. So he's back, but don't forget, if you're wondering why I'm doing something with him so soon. So he was on 2 months ago for a show and tell, but even with guys who are primarily commission collectors, my audience is mostly not. So I therefore I did my show and tell mostly on his non-commission work, maybe 3/4 published and 1/4 commissions, that kind of thing. So this time I figured, yeah, why not? Come on, it's part of a crew of people, and it's on the new series about commission collecting. And yeah, so that'll be great. He's got a lot of opinions and stories he told me he has to tell us. So I think that should be interesting. The next guest who reached out and told me he'd like to be on, you guys, some of you may notice, his name is Yoshi. He has popped into our chat here and there on occasion. He's interesting because like Stingray, he is primarily a single property collector of commissions, Transformers. Okay. But not just that. what makes him even more interesting is that he's not really collecting like all of us because he wants to own a collection of drawings. He collects because he writes a Transformers series, fan fiction, but an ongoing series. And for this series, he commissions covers for every issue, which is really interesting. So, really different approach. So I look forward to getting more info from him about that. And then the third and final guest, I decided, because it's about commissions, I asked another guy who has popped in here. You guys may remember me saying hello on a few occasions over the last month or two to someone named Evgeny Sokolov. So yes, a Russian name, and he's an artist, and he does commissions. He's deeply immersed in the commission collecting sphere. And I thought, how great would it be if I can get what we usually do is talk with collectors, but at the same time in the same studio for the same episode, also have the same point of views. Talking about the same topics, but we can also get the point of view from somebody on the opposite side of the transactions of commission collecting, So yeah, artists and an artist and collectors. So with that being said, I figured I want to retain those of you who are not into commissions. I wanted to explain to you, give me a chance to sell it to you. He's on CAF. Okay, thank you. Thanks, Marcus. Yes, the Transformers guy, right. But we're going to leave you out with the thumbnail for next week's show. Give me a second. I thought our show last week would have killed that commission theme. Come on, man. It was a great show, Sean. It was a great show. Any art that is published is a commission. Okay, let's not get into that argument. First name Sting, last name Ray. Going back to the earlier pieces. Okay. All right. So yeah, let me leave you out with that. Don't hang up, okay, Caesar? Stay with me. I will let you go soon, but don't hang up when we go off the air, okay? Here we go.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Thank you again. And yeah, so it'll be the same time as usual. Don't forget Nikki B's show on Friday. And then come back and check us out here. Comic Art Commissions, episode number 2. 1 host, 1 artist, 2 collectors. Let's talk. Featuring Stingray. It's actually not left to right, but right to left. Stingray, Yoshi, and Evgeny. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Should be some very good, spirited conversation. Thanks, Sean. Thanks, everybody else, as always. Really appreciate it. Thank you, Tom. Appreciate it, man. And yeah, that's it. Catch you next week. And as always, go blue.